What up, people? How we all doing today? Yo, it was a bit of a tiring day today. Had to go fix somebody's car, so everything got kind of messed up a little bit. Almost didn't think about doing the stream. Going on month number 5 of quarantine hair. But otherwise, everything is looking slick. Had a lot of news yesterday. A lot of Transformer news yesterday. That Fan First Friday was pretty packed. Although some people would say that it was a little disappointing. Get some clippers and do it yourself. Nah, man, if I... Let me get my water here. If I had to cut my own hair, it'd be a mess. I'd have like a bowl cut or something. It'd look terrible. But otherwise, how y'all doing, guys? A lot of people are piling in now. Well, I might get there one day. I might get it one day with no hair too. Maybe I'll get all jacked and everything and shave my head one day. Who knows? Well, you know what? It was funny because, like, so the Fan First Friday, like, a lot of people were expecting a lot of Transformers Kingdom stuff, but I think that there was still a lot left for Hasbro to talk about with the tail end of Earthrise. And, I mean, they did have to address all the stuff that was going on. Like, you know, they had to talk about exhaust and grease pit. I mean, all those things that we got leaked early that had no kind of serious official release, especially without a San Diego Comic-Con. What's up, Steven? Shout out to Steven, one of the Patreon boys and one of the joined members of the Elite Guard. And Dylan is here too. I'm sorry, Dylan, by the way. I went live and then like 20 minutes into going live, I realized you were doing your TFCon thing. I'm so sorry about that. I'm so sorry. I felt so bad afterwards. I only realized like 20 minutes into it. I was like, ooh. Besides, you probably had a better stream anyways. So more people there. And Perez is here too. Josh Perez, legendary, the number one Transformer colorist of all time, and probably one of the number 1 colorists of all time. It's okay. I'll get my revenge one day. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I only realized afterwards. Someone mentioned it in the chat, and I was like, really? That was today? Damn it. I don't know. I kind of got it mixed up with something Goober was doing, too. I assumed it was all at the same time, so. But either way, going back to what I was talking about, I'm glad they confirmed the Rotostorm head. Yeah, I didn't mention that in my news. I forgot to talk about that. But yeah, they actually had the new head sculpt for Rotostorm also. A lot of news. There was a lot of news, and even today too. This morning there was more news. There was more additions to the R.E.D line. That's gonna get hard to get used to. It's R.I.D. R.E.D. So we had that too. So now we know that we're gonna get a Transformers Prime knockout, that's interesting. That's now 2 Transformer Prime characters. You know, that's pretty crazy. And considering, and I talked about it in my segment, but like, you know, Knockout he never got a really good toy that really represented how he looked on the show. And I mean good as in like accurate to the show, because I mean Crockout was a pretty cool toy, but they need to do a build-a-figure breakdown. They need to do a build-a-figure Devastator. That's what they need to do. That's the first thing they need to do. That's what they need to do more than anything. Because, like, I think that that's what the Build-A-Figure should be. If you have case assortments of 5 to 6 guys, you know, you could do Build-A-Figure combiners so easily. And when it's like, you know, 5 guys Scramble City dudes, you could just do, like, 5 characters and a big weapon or something. So, You know, Tristan, I was actually thinking that now with Kingdom, I think that that's where we're going to get our Ravage X9 in a lot of ways. Not obviously a reissue, but I think that that's where Ravage would belong in the Kingdom line. Maybe not right away, but he could be like something in the pipes, which would be really cool to see. Yeah, see, like Techno said, build figure Bruticus. Like, yeah, I could see all of those dudes. I could see all of those dudes, man. I could see all of those dudes. Optimus Maximus, Omega Max asks, what toys would you want to see in the Transformer Kingdom line? Logical answers. I mean, one thing that a lot of people need to realize, like, if you look at like what has been announced, what has been leaked, and what is in that art image, we have pretty much almost everyone from season one Beast Wars, with the exception of Beast Wars Inferno. So, and the assumption that the G1 Inferno that was part of that leaked list actually is G1 Inferno and not a grapple, Earthrise grapple remold. So, they're probably going to go, okay, we'll do that first, season one, and then, you know, maybe wave two will be season two characters, maybe wave three will be season three characters, while kind of supplementing it with you know, Hasbro Select stuff and Hasbro Pulse stuff, and maybe an exclusive here or there for a convention. Who knows? It's gonna be a year-long thing, so settle up for that for sure. Yeah, build a figure Superion and Defensor. Yeah, that's where I think the build a figures really should be, is because, you know, those combiners are not going to fit in that price point. So, you know, it's the best excuse to kind of use those trademarks, because, I mean, when is Hasbro going to use a Defensor trademark anytime soon, or a Superion? So it makes sense. It really does. But yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see what happens. What Transformer toy line would you like to see outside of G1? I don't know. More like, now that I finally have Beast Wars, because it would have been Beast Wars would have been my answer. Maybe just some, you know, in the spirit continuations of the style and price point of animated stuff, just to fill out that ranking. That could be one thing. I mean, G1 is such a large animal. Like, you know, would you consider, like, you know, obviously you would consider Master Force G1, but if you asked for G1 stuff, you know, saying, oh, I want some Master Force characters, that's still asking for G1, you know. But it would be cool to get some Master Force characters. Would be really cool. Where are we at here? Sorry, I'm just scrolling back. If I miss your questions, just repeat them over and over. Where are we at? Here we go. What do you think of the Michael Bay films personally? I think they were a means to an ends. And what I mean by that is, man, my hair is really bad. This quarantine hair is killing me. A means to an ends, those Michael Bay films. Because while, you know, the first one wasn't too bad, it was a good beginning, middle, and end. It's the shortest one of the bunch of the Michael Bay films, oddly enough, if you don't count Bumblebee, of course, but that's a Travis Knight film. But it's the best pace and the best storytelling. Didn't have a lot of robots in it, but it was a good film. But the whole franchise, in a lot of ways, was a means to an ends, meaning that it got Transformers back in the mainstream after kind of being quiet for a while. It got the attention. I firmly believe that we wouldn't have 90% of the stuff that we have today if it wasn't for the big boom of, like, let's say 2008, 2009, Revenge of the Fallen. And of course, we went into a decline after 2011 with Dark of the Moon and everything. But again, I'm not a big fan of those movies. They're kind of a drudge to sit through. You know, like, I could sit through the 86 movie easily. You know, I could sit through a lot of movies, you know, like over and over, but, you know, some of those Bay movies, it's just, it's homework more than it is enjoyment. But I do recognize that they served their purpose, and it made Transformers huge. And to the people who like it, hey, good for you. You enjoy it. It's good. Works out for you. For us, it worked out for us because it made the brand a lot of money, and it gave it a lot more clout. Do you think we're ever going to get a Magnaboss and Tripredacus? I think so. I think that if we got a Magnaboss or Tripredacus, I think it would be in that Commander price point. I think that that's where it would fit nicely, because those are tri-combiners. And we've already seen, like, how, you know, 6-team combiners like Predaking and Devastator, they kind of, you know, they're kind of small for the Titan price point already. And that's 3 characters, and they make them, you know, kind of Voyager sized already. So to do something that's 3 characters, and let's say they max them out and make them Voyagers, it still would be kind of tiny. and kind of weird. So I think that it would be good in the Commander price point, make them all deluxes, throw back to that history. And Japan could then enjoy it too, because they could take those molds, just repaint them a little bit, and release them in their market for their Beast Wars second characters. Do you expect to see Trax or Nidonos come at some point in the trilogy? I think that's probably going to be a Hasbro Pulse thing. I think that'll be a Hasbro Pulse thing. I think that, like, you know, even though we're going to go into a heavy Beast Wars year, we're going to still have a lot of G1 from Hasbro Pulse. I feel like that's still going to be the collector market and the older market kind of thing, while Beast Wars will target that 90s kid demographic that's coming up that will be buying in retail. I mean, Cheetor's in that, you know, in that Transformers R.E.D. line for a reason, and so is RC from Prime. That's a whole different demographic that's going to be buying. Who is your Transformer waifu? I don't know. That's a good one. Do we have to count robots? Because there's human characters too. I want to specify that first, because there's also human characters that could be my waifu. What do you think? Well, okay, I saw that question. What do you think your favorite Transformers Kingdom will be? Hopefully, my vote will be an old non-show Beast Wars character. Well, of the ones that are announced thus far, I'm really curious how they're going to do the Dinobot, and I'm really curious how they're going to do the Cheetor, even though I have, like, Masterpiece Cheetor and Dinobot. So, like, those will be the best ones. But I'm curious how they're going to do it for retail. I'm really curious what they're going to do to kind of suppress that price point into a deluxe, assuming Cheetor's a deluxe and Dinobot's a Voyager, how they'll pull that off. And, I mean, I'm thinking, like, Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. We might get some minor Masterpiece flavor there, which would be really cool and great for people who can't afford the crazy stuff. I think there may be one or a few people who would like R.E.D. to take on Rescue Bots. I don't know about that one. I feel like the R.E.D. line is going to be... and again, this sounds sacrilege, but it's going to go for that more casual audience, you know, that doesn't really want to buy a Transformer character that transforms, but something they could just put on their desk that looks really cool. But I could see that more. What do you think Hasbro will revisit characters like the Thrilling 30, Rhinox, and Rat Trap? I think they will. I think they will. Again, Rat Trap was on the art, and Rat Trap has been confirmed to be I believe, a scout class. So I think they're going to definitely revisit those characters. Do you think Victory Leo could show up in Kingdom? Anything is possible with Beast characters. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised if a G1 Dinobot or something shows up. You know, it should be a Dinobot or a Beast Wars Dinobot repaint as Grimlock even. Need a budget Masterpiece Dinobot. And that's what it is. I mean, that's what leader class, you know, Earthrise Optimus is. It's budget, you know, 25th anniversary Optimus 3.0 convoy. You have to binge watch the G1 cartoon during the summer. Yeah, that won't be too bad. I binge watched it when I forgot my DVDs from Rhino the first time. Where are we at here? Yeah, I think the R.E.D. line does need a Build-A-Figure gimmick. I think, you know what? I honestly think it's going to have it. I think Hasbro just hasn't announced it yet because we haven't seen all the first, like, you know, if the case assortment is like Marvel Legends and Star Wars Black Series, it's going to be 6 figures. We already kind of confirmed that it's going to be 6 figures with Optimus, Bumblebee, Soundwave, Megatron, RC, and Cheetor, so that's 6. I think that because we haven't seen officially the others, they didn't want to reveal the Build-A-Figure if there is one. That's just my theory. I could be wrong, but I would like to believe that. What Transformers series do you rewatch often? Beast Wars. Easily. Easily Beast Wars. I catch myself so many times going back to like just watch a clip from Beast Wars and end up just watching a whole episode of something. I love Beast Wars so much. Easily the best Transformer series. And I grew up with G1. I grew up with G1. You know? I grew up with G1. But Beast Wars is the best written. Not the best designs. Best written and best characters. Best engineering from toys in terms of what it brought to the line. Very important in the overall lore of what it brought fictionally and the mysticism of it and Sparks and everything. Bringing Primus into the mainstream after being only pretty much a comic book thing. It did so much. Where G1 is G1. It has its things too. Do you think they're going to put the original Beast Wars on Netflix? You know what? I feel like Hasbro is building towards their own kind of Netflix streaming service, so I don't think they're going to give away too much just yet. I think we're going to see what happens with this War for Cybertron trilogy stuff, and if that stuff is successful, like if Siege does really well, I know what Hasbro's going to do. They're going to be like, maybe we can make our own kind of service, and they'll pull away from Netflix. Watch. You'll see. There's something there. There's something there. What is the core class Transformers for War for Cybertron? According to what they said, it's pretty much replacing the Micromaster / Scout class. So that $5.99 Battle Master kind of class thing. But that's just rumor and innuendo. It's not confirmed right now. If we do get a build figure, do you think we'll get the robot forms of those combiners? I think the Build-A-Figure will just be pieces of that giant combiner. I think it'll be like you'll just get like the half-transformed robot foot of, you know, Devastator and the other half-transformed robot foot of Devastator that make, you know, Scavenger upside down with his arms. I'm kind of reminded of, geez, what was it? You know, like the PVC series. You can barely see it because of my lighting there, because that's all the stupid museum lighting. But the PVC series did like Build-A-Figures of bigger characters like Fortress Maximus and Black Zarek and Scorponok. So I could kind of see it like that. Beast Wars Netflix series is 2 days after my birthday. Awesome. Speaking of which, Larry isn't here yet, but today's Larry's birthday. Larry, which is Black Dragon on the boards, Dragoon on the boards, and Ultra Maverick, who's John from TFCon. It's also his birthday today. He's the guy who greets you at TFCon at the registration desk, so happy birthday to both those cool dudes. I don't think either of them are here right now. I know Larry's going to pop in at some point, but just shout out to them. If I see Larry, I'll point him out. Yeah, I'd love to see Razor Beast. Oh, man. I think they're going to do, unfortunately, I think they're going to do show characters first because that's the easy money. You know, like people are going to buy show characters. But I'd love it when they start doing non-show characters. That'd be really cool. I think non-show characters will happen only if you have molds that are not related to that. Like if we get a Waspinator, then it's like, okay, for sure, we might see a Buzzsaw. You know, so I think that just not yet. Just not yet, I think. Do you think we'll get Commander Class Optimal Optimus and Transmetal 2 Megatron? I don't know about the Optimal Optimus because it's still too soon from Power of the Primes with their, like, their kind of, you know, evolution convoy, you know, Beast Comboy, Optimus Primal. But you never know. You never know. I'm not going to make a bet on that one. It's still hard to say what they're going to do with that price point this early in the game. My Razor Beast is missing his leg. The Beast leg of the 4 or his actual robot leg? He was my first toy. And he was Will Smith's. He's been looking for Razor Beast since like October. Does Transformers and G.I. Joe exist in the same universe? Depending on the universe, but your answer in general would be yes. They do. In some continuities, I think. Oh, there you go. Someone answered for me. Yeah, happy birthday to John and Larry. If Larry pops in. They're both born. And it sucks because Larry probably would have been having a barbecue today, and I'd be at Larry's having a barbecue if it wasn't for everything going on in the world right now with the social distancing and everything. So, is G2 Breakdown the first BotCon exclusive Transformer figure? Technically, yes. When BotCon was an unofficial unofficial licensed Transformers convention, yes, it was. G2 Breakdown followed by Nightbird. Not Nightbird. Was it Nightbird? Not Nightbird. Oh my god, why am I blanking right now? What was her name? I'm looking at her exclusive right now. Not Nightbird. Ooh, Night Racer. Night Racer, right? Night Racer? Night Racer. Wow, why did I blank on that? Too many names. Too many names. When you own an expensive Night Racer, you can't even remember its name. I have the one with the blue painted on, not the non-blue version. That's the more common one. Who would you prefer in the next trilogy? Beast Wars related or Unicron trilogy? Well, I want Beast Wars to run its course, get all those characters out there, and then, hey, cool, let's do some Unicron trilogy, target that market of kids afterwards. it makes sense for them to do it, you know. Where are we at here? If R.E.D. blanches into Beast Wars 2nd, can we finally get an Artemis figure? Yes, I would like that. That was one of the biggest bummers of Lio Convoy not getting that Artemis figure. I was bummed about that. I was super hyped. Like I have the official Ichon from R.E.D. from Wonderfest a while back. I love that figure to death. There's like only 100 of those made. Like I love like little, you know, PVC figures of all those characters that didn't get toys. Do you read the Transformer movie versus prequel comics? Yes, I did back in the day. I did the Tales of the Fallen that were done by Ulysses, whatever. I forget his name. He had a weird name. The art wasn't that great on a lot of them, and the stories were kind of but hey, you know, it gave, you know, some character to certain figures that were just toy figures, so it served its purpose. There was a few good issues. There was this one silent issue. I think it was the Ravage one. That was pretty good. I like that one from Tales of the Fallen. That was a good one. Where are we at? Sorry if I keep looking to the side. I'm trying to see what else we got in terms of questions. We got some jams in the background if you guys could hear it. How would you feel if Hasbro made a brand new G1 Broadside? I would love it because I love Broadside. And if he was Commander class, then he'd be awesome because then, like you just said, you could put little Micromasters on him. Little Micromaster points. And then you could retool him into Tidal Wave for a Commander class. And then you could, you know, have him that he could combine with a Megatron and then get Aaron Archer to sign it. That'd be really cool. When did you get into Transformers? I think I talked about that in a previous segment. Back in August of 1986, I went to, I think it was August or September. I want to say it was probably August because I remember vividly there being like the change of the leaves for fall or autumn, depending on how you want to call it. I remember going to see the 86 movie with my next door neighbor and his mom, and I had no idea what Transformers was. It was a cartoon playing in the movie theater at my local cinema, and I'm going to see it with my next door neighbor who's 2 years older than me. Whatever he was going to see, I was going to go see, and we went with his mom. And it was the 86 movie. And I walked out of that theater going like, wow, that was really cool. And I really liked it a lot, and the rest was history. And then I remember I asked my dad, hey, could you get me that red and yellow robot? You know, because I wasn't really sure if his name came out. I was like 3 going on 4 years old at the time. Like, get me the red and yellow robot. I think I told him Hot Rod. And then he went out, like, literally the next week, and he went to, like, this discount chain called Pascal's across the street near my house, and he came back with Blaster. So he wasn't wrong. It's a red and yellow robot, but it wasn't Hot Rod. But that Blaster ended up being my first Transformer. And I still have, let me just pull it out. So this little box here, ignore all of this. These are my first Transformer toys I ever grew up with. So it keeps me humble. And there they are. These were my first Transformer toys. It was a G1 Blaster, a broken G1 Optimus Prime leg that came with an Optimus Prime trailer that I found at Value Village, and a bunch of Micromasters that I traded with friends, and some of them that I got from a birthday party back in, I want to say, 92? I want to say 92, 93. When did the Technodrome, not the Technodrome, the sewer module from Ninja Turtles came out? Whatever year that was, because I remember that was the hot Ninja Turtle product, and I got that for my birthday too. But yeah, that's how I got into Transformers. And then, you know, obviously Ninja Turtles became popular, so that became the focus. And then slightly, you know, I trailed off to the X-Men stuff and Street Fighter and video games, and became an arcade rat during the 90s, playing a lot of Street Fighter. But then when Beast Wars came back, and it was perfect because Beast Wars came out, and then I got the internet in 96. So it was like this perfect marriage where it's like, oh wow, Beast Wars, Transformers, that's so cool. And then I got the internet, and I went, hey, I wonder if other people like Beast Wars on the internet, and the rest is history. And now you're talking to my face today. Let's scroll back up, because that was a long-winded answer. Sorry about that. How do you feel if Beast Wars characters were Cybertronian at most? I don't think they'll be Cybertronian based on that art, though. The art kind of shows that they're not Cybertronian. I want to make sure Car Robots is part of Japanese G1. Yeah, it is. They retconned it that it's actually something that happened in between season 2 and the 86 movie, where there was a manga. I have the manga up there. It's called Battlestar. Not Battlestar. Oh, Star Base Battles? What was that manga called? One moment. Let me grab it. Let me grab that manga. Battle of the Stargate, which was like, this was like the in-between, and then at the end of it, the G1 Autobots disappear in space, and during that time, Earth doesn't have any protectors, and that's where Fire Convoy and the whole crew pretty much come. This was a really awesome book, if you could pick it up. It's been fan-translated also. Hopefully one day, maybe Viz will grab the rights for it and translate it. Where are we at here? Oh, Ravage was you, Josh? I don't even remember. I just remember really liking that book. I really liked that one. That was the one I really enjoyed. A lot of the Tales of the Fallen stuff, some of it was kind of meh, but I remember that one was really good. I like that one. I want to watch Beast Machines online. Unfortunately, I don't like the character designs for most of the characters. What I would suggest, I mean, Beast Machines is kind of hot or cold for a lot of people, but I do suggest watching it. Like, almost kind of go into it, like, ignoring what you know from Beast Wars and the designs, and just try to watch it as a sci-fi series, and you'll appreciate what there is. But I do understand, like, you know, it kind of ruined a lot of the characters, and I mean, there's a lot of things that went on behind the scenes that led to that, but I mean, it is what it is. Patrick asks, favorite toy line, Transformers or like outside of Transformers? I want to specify that one before I answer, because I have a lot of other crazy collections too. Would you like to see Beast Machines updated figures? Yeah, I would. I would, because a lot of those figures still to this day never got their just desserts, and I'd love to see like a Savage Noble or a Botanica, or just like a properly done, you know, like when your best Optimus Primal character is a bootleg, you can kind of see yourself in it. There you go. When your best Optimus Primal is a bootleg, you got to update that stuff. You really do. And when your best Beast Machines toys for the longest time were the McDonald's versions, you know you got a problem. Is the old generation's RC still a good mold? I think it's still the best retail RC in my opinion. I mean, I have coming in the mail, but I haven't messed with the Cyberverse one yet. But I feel if you could get the Legends version, specifically the Japanese Takara one, that's the best retail RC in my opinion at the moment. Not counting third party and, you know, getting into that thing too, and con exclusives. Any idea why they chose Prime to start with the R.E.D instead of another series? I think it's just they were again, I feel the Transformers R.E.D line is targeted at a different market and demographic than us hardcore fans. Obviously, we're going to pick it up, but it's in the same way that, like, let's put it this way. They're going to be doing Transformer Pop vinyls. That's not aimed at us. Sure, some of us might pick it up, but that's aimed more at that casual market. And I feel like R.E.D is the same thing, because they're putting G1 staples. Like, look, just with the announcement, if you listen to my last segment that I just did, of the Legendary 7, only 2 are missing. And the 2 that are missing are the most ambiguous to be done in that line. There's no Devastator, because he would have to be a Build-A-Figure. And Grimlock isn't in it, because which one do you do? Do you do Robot Mode? Or do you do Dino Mode? So I think they're waiting that one out, too. But everyone else that's of the Legendary 7 is scheduled to come out. And then, look, Cheetor's in it. So any 90s kid that grew up with Beast Wars, there's, like, the hotness, the Cheetor character, the Bumblebee of that line. And then you have Prime fans who were new fans to the series that probably came after the movie, and pretty much the first 2 series they were introduced to was animated in Transformers Prime, so RC is that kind of template for that. So it's aimed at a more casual market, in my opinion. Where are we at? How badly do you think sales will be if Hasbro stops making G1 figures? I don't think it'll be affected that much. Look, the reality is that some of their best sales of Transformer figures were not Generation 1 stuff. It was some of the movie stuff back in the day. It really is whatever the market wants at the time. And if there's a lot of people that grew up on Beast Wars, which is, it's their G1, hey, you never know. Look, here's the truth. When we get to Kingdom, we're going to have financial numbers that'll tell Hasbro if that was a smart move. And if Kingdom sells very well and they see that Beast Wars does very well, here's a spoiler. That's probably what's going to be the future. And then they're going to realize, yeah, you go with that market. You go whatever the market is. Any predictions for the last wave of Earthrise? I don't know. I think Earthrise is almost on its way out. There's still a few things that were announced that we haven't seen yet. But in general, I think Earthrise is on its way out. In your opinion, what is the chances of a Marvel's Death's Head? Well, we had a Marvel's Death Head from Marvel. I could see a Marvel's Death's Head being in Marvel Legends. Like, we already had the Marvel, I think it was called Marvel Infinite Selects. What was that small line? I have the Death's Head. He's actually in display over there with the miscellaneous stuff. But I could see it be more a Marvel thing. Rack and Rune, Pretender Shells. Ooh, I wish, bro. I wish, but they're gonna do the hits first. They're gonna do the top tier characters of the Legendary Seven. Then they're gonna do the second tier characters like Jazz and Shockwave and Prowl. And then, you know, same thing. They'll dip into Beast Wars, maybe a Beast Wars Dinobot, maybe an Optimus Primal. You know, maybe they'll do an Armada Optimus Prime. You know, they're gonna jump around a bit. Maybe even, I know it sounds crazy, maybe even a movie Optimus might fall into that. But I don't think we're gonna do the obscure stuff just yet. I don't think so. Although Knockout does give me hope. By Knockout being there, it shows that some of the more off-kilter characters can be a reality. My bad, I meant Transformer toy lines, but why the hell not? What's your favorite Transformer line and non-favorite Transformer line? My favorite Transformer line, it's probably a tie between Beast Wars and Animated. And even though Animated isn't like my super favorite Transformer series, I'm impressed by how well the scale was with the series overall, how it was a tightly compact series, how most of the figures are show characters, and it's not padded out with non-character figures. Like if you did have like a repaint of something, it'd be like Elite Guard Bumblebee. Yeah, he wasn't Elite Guard, but it's still a Bumblebee figure. So like there's very few figures in that line that are non-show characters, which I'm pretty impressed with, considering every other Transformer line is filled with non-show characters. But Beast Wars probably, just because, I mean, it's so important design-wise to the history of how Transformers is today. You know, granted, a lot of that engineering was found in late wave G2, like with the Cyberjets and everything, with, you know, pack-on weapons and ball joints and stuff like that, and you know, light piping. But Beast Wars really made it a line-wide standard and made people want that of G1 afterwards. For non-toy line, that's a tough one. For non-Transformer, oh man, I collect so many other weird stuff. I love weird 90s toy lines. Street Sharks, Botsmaster, King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. Shadow Raiders, also known as War Planets, Cowboys of Moo Mesa, Biker Mice from Mars, the Reboot toy line. So many. I one day, I've done it in the past on the stream, but one day I'll take you guys into the other room that isn't the Transformer room. It's filled with a lot of cool stuff. I call it the library. I got a huge Ninja Turtle collection in there too. Cops fighting crime in a future time. Crazy line. What's your opinion of G1 Cartoon Season 3? It was ambitious. It was different. I like where it was going, but it made a lot of mistakes. Number one, getting Nelson Shin to convince Hasbro to go with his studio, ACOM Studios, over Sunbow and Toei was a big mistake because the animation quality was all over the place. And Nelson, to his credit, Nelson Shin, he's the same guy at that same time was doing The Simpsons. But when you look at what The Simpsons was in its first 2 seasons and you look at Transformers, you shouldn't have those kind of eggs in the same basket. So, you know, ACOM doing The Simpsons, that's fine, but for them doing Transformers G1 Season 3, I wasn't a fan. And Season 4, too. Like, and, you know, the irony, Season 4, which was the Rebirth episodes, Optimus Prime is recolored badly on his, whatever you want to call it, his front mohawk piece of his helmet, almost the entire 3 episodes, which is like, whatever, Nelson, you know. But they did have some good episodes. It did have some good ideas. Call of the Primitives is still an awesome episode. And I'm not a fan of, like, how could you make, you know, Rodimus your big future character and he's literally absent from, like, half the episodes. I always found that very weird. Very, very weird. I understand that it gave other characters to have focus, but when you're trying to push this new leader, you really need to, like, you know, put them in the forefront. Where are we at here? Where are we at? What is your opinion on Akira and Yu-Gi-Oh crossover? Is that a thing? Really? Are we getting an Akira Yu-Gi-Oh crossover? It's hilarious. Are we getting an Akira and Yu-Gi-Oh crossover? I don't even know why these are near me. I was actually selling those recently, so I have them nearby. I was taking some photos to put online. I have no idea about that. They're doing an Akira Yu-Gi-Oh crossover. What a weird mix. Konami behind that? Will we get an official Transformers movie reboot? You'd have to ask Tom DeSanto. They don't even know what they're doing. We don't even know if Bumblebee there is an official movie reboot. They're flip-flopping on that every time Tom DeSanto does an interview. Tank War toy of Beast Machines was great. He just didn't look like he did in the show. Yeah, he didn't look like he did in the show. He had a cool gimmick, though. I like that. Like, you could turn that nozzle and his eyeball would turn in both modes. Like, I like that toy. Even though it wasn't show accurate, that was a really good engineered toy. And I think they did... There's like a repaint of it. This is the Universe 1.0 line. They did a repaint of them, too, which was really cool with Obsidian. Really like that mold. All the Viacons were really good. It was the Maximals that were kind of hit or miss with that line. Maybe they'll wait on a Grimlock because he needs to be bigger. Yeah, that's possible too. That's possible. I think it's because they're really not sure if they want to do the Dino mode or the Robot mode. Because everyone's been Robot modes, and this one would be the first time you'd have an Alt mode. Which fan First Friday reveal were you the most excited about? That's a good question. That's a good one. Well, not counting what we already knew, because I would have said Exhaust. Because just Exhaust, that's so cool just to get an Exhaust with all those little cigarette nods in it. Let me think about that one. Give me a moment while I jam to some music. I guess I want to say, mind you, the Quintesson thing was also revealed to us early. We got that like the day before. That Quintesson thing's pretty awesome too. I love that. I'm not going to take that out of the box. That thing looks so good in the box. I don't know. That Quintesson thing was amazing too. The problem is so much of the stuff was revealed before, so it's not really a surprise. I'll say Alita. Alita's pretty cool. Even though we kind of knew we were going to get her, I dig Alita. Nice to get more fembots. How do you keep your Transformer toys in good condition? I don't know. I don't mess rough with them, I guess. I don't like, I don't know. I just, in my entire life, I've only broken 3 Transformer toys out of my thousands here, and they were all because of GPS or BPS. It was, the very first one I ever broke was G2 Electro, Gold Plastic Syndrome. Then I broke Beast Wars Beast Wars Grimlock, Gold Plastic, the legs. And then I broke Transmetal Megatron. And all of those I had to go out of my way to rebuy at different points. And then people bought the broken ones from me for some odd reason for like customizing. So kind of worked out in the end. But it was very weird. But yeah, I don't know, I just take good care of them and I don't ham fist it. I don't get really in there. If you call the Transformer market casual more so, would you? I don't know if you call the market casual more so to be collectors. What do you mean by that? I need more information. I want my Earthrise fast tracked in. One day. Was the Revenge of the Fallen toy line the best movie toy line in your opinion? I really liked the Scout class in Revenge of the Fallen. We had some amazing molds. Like, I'm just looking at that Scout class. Like, we got some amazing molds out of Revenge of the Fallen, and kind of like when it was turning into like that Hunt for the Decepticon and Transformer 2010 subline there, and Reveal the Shield. Like, we got so many good Scouts from that line. It was really good. Revenge of the Fallen really was like peak movie engineering. I mean, that's why, I mean, that Leader Optimus with Jetfire was like a standard for people for years. So, I can't complain with that. Anyone here have any unpopular Transformer opinions? I think Transformer Prime isn't in the top 5 Transformer series. And a lot of people disagree with me on that, but I don't see... Transformer Prime is good, but it's not in the top 5. Not in the top 5. Where are we at? Where are we at? Everything like scrolled down. Do you prefer Galvatron as a reincarnation of Megatron, or do you prefer Galvatron as his own character? I like him as a reformatted Megatron. It's a good evolution of the character. Being his own thing, we don't have too much of that to kind of base, you know, what we would have of that outside of like the UK books kind of being introduced to him like that. Even though he technically also is a, you know, reformatted Megatron. Mostly because I just love the 86 movie, so why would I want to change it? After we get the main guy as an R.E.D, do you think we'll get Fall of Cybertron or War for Cybertron game figures in that line? Ooh, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I know that like Hasbro probably owns the rights to those designs, but at the same time, maybe there's some Activision shenanigans where they might not be able to. I don't know. I'd have to get like a Aaron Archer. Save that. Remember that question, Nathaniel, when I have Aaron Archer back on the show, which I might do in the near future anyways, because we have to do a part 2. Save that question, because I'm pretty sure he could give you that answer in terms of like the licensing of it. I want to see Cup in the next phase. Speaking of Street Sharks, did you finally get Ripster? Well, I got a good Ripster, because it's tough to get Street Sharks in good condition. Right now, I'm looking for the final wave stuff. There was that last wave of Street Shark toys that are kind of tough to get. My parents said I am too old for toys, but I still collect. There is no such thing anymore. Next time you talk to your parents, give them this speech, my friend. Anything of any generation of adults always does an emulation of what they did as an adult. As a child, excuse me. As a child. So your parents, I guarantee, whatever your parents do today for fun is a reflection of what they did as kids. If your parents are from the 60s and what they did in their kids and teens, if it was going out, listening to music, you know, or doing sports or stuff, or enjoying sports, or cheering for sports, or going to a country house, you know, if you're someone from the 60s, you know. But don't be surprised that that's what they do as an adult. I always used to say, I remember I was at a toy convention, and some guy who was much older brought his son, and he was like, oh, my son still collects toys, I don't understand it. And I said, well, what did you do when you were as a kid? And he's like, oh, I used to do fishing, and, you know, I used to love doing fishing. And I'm like, if you did fishing as an adult, would I tell you to grow up, quit being a kid? Why are you doing what you did when you were a kid? So it's just that our generation, we were so lucky. Any kid who was like late 70s, early 80s, and 90s, that toy boom after Star Wars, G.I. Joe, He-Man, Transformers, you know, the Thundercats and all of that, and then going into the 90s with Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, and then into the Pokemon era and everything. Like, they didn't have that. If you were a kid in the 60s, you had like 12-inch Joe, you know, Malibu Barbie, Easy Bake Oven. Guess what? When she grew up, she bought her own clothes and she got her own oven. Or you joined the army. That's a whole other topic. I used to get into so many arguments about people understanding toy collecting, and I was so lucky to be born into a house that a father was a toy collector. My father is a toy collector. I have this great segment. Just Google Protoman Father's Day special, I think it's called, on YouTube, and you'll see me and my dad's toy collection. So I was very lucky to have a father who was a toy collector, so this was encouraged to an insane degree, to say the least. But yeah. Do you think animated Ratchet and one Ratchet are the same Ratchet? No, I don't think so. They're both crotchety, but crotchety in different ways. Don Messick's Ratchet is very different. A very different kind of Ratchet. Have you ever written your own Transformer stuff? Yes, I have. I think this was my first official Transformer job. Josh Perez is in the chat. He was my first ever Transformer work unofficially that I did. I worked on a whole bunch of stuff with Josh and Alex Milne back in the day, but this was my first ever official job I did, which was they needed me to write bios, and so where is it? So I did. There's my first official credit. Daniel Arsenault. I wrote the bio for Zap Trap and Bit Cheat, which was this guy here. So I wrote the bio. That was just a text bio. That was my first ever official writing gig. And then I got a whole bunch of other opportunities afterwards through FunPub and Hasbro. Shout out to Jesse, who hooks me up all the time with all the writing gigs. So yeah, I got to write a whole bunch of Transformer stuff. I was very fortunate. Once again, thank you, Jesse, for all those opportunities. And Pete. Can't forget Pete, too. Do you think other Transformer media like Prime and Armada should get their own studio series treatment? Well, then it wouldn't be studio series. I mean, well, Transformers Armada kind of had a made-for-TV movie when they just like merged 3 episodes. Like there's well, I think that in all honesty, I think that Prime and Armada at one point will be in the mainline Generations not Unicron trilogy, War for Cybertron trilogy, whatever you want to call, or I still call it Generations, but Classics S-Line. I think those characters will get those treatment one day, and they don't need studio series or anything else to get that done. You actually like those colors, Ultra Primal, for Optimus? Am I the only one that really wants more War for Cybertron figures? Oh, I would too. I have literally I have a whole section just dedicated to the video game figures because I love them so much. I loved that game. That was easily the best Transformer game ever made. And I hope we one day return to that. We're probably not going to anytime soon because what we've seen thus far is... But yeah. Do you prefer Optimus Prime talking with his mouth or a mouth plate? For G1 Prime, yeah, because it's traditional, I like it, but I mean, Primal having the exposed mouthpiece and being able to emote with it was always a big selling point with Beast Wars. Go to my Twitter, scroll down, I posted one of my favorite scenes from Beast Wars, which was just this scene from Guerrilla Warfare, and it's all about the facial expressions. And you hide those, and you can't enjoy your character as much. For a Soundwave, it's fine when you're stoic. But, you know, think about all we love about Starscream with his smirks and his evil grins. It's all about the facial expressions. Do you think Legends Prime and Megatron for Kingdom will be a bat and a gator version? I wish. I get a feeling it's not going to be that, but if I had a choice, I would love it to be that. But I know for proper marketing, they're going to go with what people know. From a mainstream kind of thing, because that crocodile Megatron and Bat Primal, that was a blip in history for Beast Wars, unfortunately. Where are we at? What do you think the R.E.D. do? Well, I don't think they're Action Masters. Plasticon calls them Action Masters. I compare them to, there was a line called Mega SCF PVC that was done by a company called SCF back in the day for Transformers. It reminds me a lot of that, where they did Optimus, they did Starscream, they did Megatron, they did Starsaber, they did Hot Rod, they did Rodimus Prime, they did Victory Leo, they did even some Armada characters too. It reminds me a lot of that. Interchangeable hands, interchangeable heads, accessories, limited articulation, non-transformable. Very reminiscent of that. Very reminiscent of it. Action Masters actually had a transforming element to it. You know? This didn't. This doesn't. Do you want Bayverse to die because I want Bayverse to die? This is just my opinion. I think Bayverse has done what it needed to do. Transformers is mainstream now. Let's move on to the next thing. We don't need Bayverse anymore. Give us something new. And that's important because change is good. Just like Transformers. Got to change. What is your most wanted Transformer figure? I would one day want a first edition Optimus Prime Voyager Megatron. Voyager Optimus Prime. Yeah, that's a very expensive one, and it's a really good one. It's probably the best coloring of that one. It has the weapon that actually clips on better for the sword. Right now, the only thing that I'm really missing is I want to upgrade some of my like late Japanese G1 stuff. I'd like to upgrade my Dino King because I'm not a big fan of the condition it's in. Plasticon Studios is here. You know, he hooked me up with his Grandis, but I'd love to upgrade mine to like a super duper minty complete one, and then I'll sell him back the Grandis that I bought from him. But yeah, that's kind of stuff I'm looking for right now. You know, maybe a numbered DeLorean. That'd be nice, but that's a whole other story. Didn't you also break Randy? Yes, I did. That's true. That's true. I broke that on camera. That was a mess, that video. That was a mess of a video. Operation Randy, as I called it, where I broke a Beast Wars Randy on camera. And I swore on camera, too, because I was like, man. Are those custom glass cabinets? Yes, they are. They are 10 feet tall and I believe 6 feet deep. And they are all over, wall to wall. To top to the bottom. Where are we at? In my opinion, animated Unicron True Beast Wars and R.E.D. 2000. So you don't like anime-esque kind of stuff? Do you do your thing discontinuing figures about a year after release is wrong, especially because some customers are poorer than others? It's not really them discontinuing figures. The truth is, it's actually, like, if you have to blame someone, it actually has to do with the retailers. Like, Walmart is constantly, like, pushing Hasbro, hey, we need new product, we need new product. Like, that's why constantly product always has to change its name now. It can't just be Transformers. It always has to have some kind of new name or new refresh every year. Especially even when it comes to, like, it was like, it's Armada. Then it's Armada the Unicron battles. Or it's like, it's Cybertron, and then it's Cybertron Primus Unleashed. They always try to refresh the product because companies are, retailers are always pushing them. We need new product. We don't want old product. So it's not really discontinuing it. It's more just Walmart is going, get this out of here. We need new stuff. So it's not really Hasbro's fault. That's more Walmart's fault. Capitalism. Why does the G1 Marvel Comics have different story compared to the cartoon? Different writers, man. It's the same thing with at the time what was going on with G.I. Joe and their cartoon. You got one group of guys doing one thing, you got one group of guys doing the other, but it's always been like that. Would you say that the Marvel comics and the Marvel cartoons and the Marvel movies are all on the same page? No, they're not. It's just that we got our first taste of that kind of storytelling difference back in 1984 and in 1982 with G.I. Joe. So, but the truth of the matter is, it goes back even before that. Like, if you look at the Star Wars comics by Marvel, they were kind of going in a different path than the movies were. And then you had the He-Man comics. They were very different from what was going on in the cartoon. It's just that it really, and of course, you know, Ninja Turtles too, much later, but when we got the movie as opposed to the comic and the cartoon. It's just that Transformers was one of the first that really was a mainstream difference. But now we're just kind of used to it. Now it's always different. With the news of Earthrise, Dirge, and Ramjet box set, what is your favorite Conehead character? I like Thrust. Thrust is the one that, of the three, actually had personality. I was shocked, like I talked about it in my segment, I was shocked that Mark from Hasbro Design said that Ramjet was actually the leader. I've never heard that in the 30-plus years that Coneheads have been a thing, that Ramjet was the leader. I always assumed Thrust was the leader of the crew. Not to mention his bio kind of suggests that he's like the Starscream of the team. So again, the leader. But I'll go with Thrust. And not to mention Thrust ended up becoming cool later on in Armada and stuff too. The slimy character. Do you like TF knockoff companies like WJ and Black Mamba and all this? When they serve a purpose. You know what? There used to be a time when I was kind of behind TF knockoff companies when they were doing stuff I felt Hasbro would never do. Like a while back, they did knockoffs of the of those headmaster, those like little headmasters there from those valuable little headmasters from the Headmaster series, and then they did the Dino cassettes. But now Hasbro's doing the Dino cassettes, so I think even Hasbro is willing to do super rare stuff from the past. So I don't think we need knockoffs anymore because I could see Hasbro one day doing it. And it takes away money from Hasbro. And if Hasbro doesn't make money, we get less product. It doesn't make me sound like a Hasbro shill. It's just a reality of how the system works. G'day, Chris. What do you think of the Encore reissue line? I like it. I think it should exist. I think reissues give an opportunity for everyone to pick up product, especially when, you know, if you think about it, like if let's say the reissue line never happened, like especially the Takara reissue line. Imagine all those poor condition, damaged, yellowed, you know, windshield G1 Prowls and how many are out there in good condition. It would be such a thin market. So it gives a chance to put more of those minty ones out there and people to get an opportunity to enjoy those characters. And when, of course, it gives opportunities for then rare toys to then get reissued, like Stepper, like, you know, God Ginrai, like Star Saber. You know, there's certain opportunities for those. And you know, Twin Cast and Sound Blaster, those reissues too. So I fully support reissues, even though I own the originals. I don't have many reissues in my collection. The only time I ever get reissues is when the reissue is drastically different than the original. Then, they did like a Predaking. It's kind of hard. There's my original Predaking, but there's a Predaking reissue around there. They did a Predaking reissue, and it actually came with different weapons and a different color scheme. So I picked that one up. But in general, I support reissues because it gives people opportunities to get them. I enjoyed Cyberverse R.E.D. Just no reason, and I haven't watched Rescue Bots. Rescue Bots is what it is. It's for that market. My unpopular opinion is I don't like G1 as a show that much. I understand the legacy, but I think the show was too bloated with characters. Though I love the movie unconditionally. Then the next question I have to ask you, my friend, is how old are you? And I don't mean that at a slight against you. I'm just asking, how old are you? Because that would also help me understand a little more. Lionel Primal asks, what did he miss? You didn't miss anything. Just me ranting. You know me. After this is done, hopefully, I'll try to extract the file and post it for people that missed anything. I have Transformer boxes that say 16 plus. That's almost an adult anyways. Depending on your state, depending on your country. My dad tells me to stop buying toys and I ignore him because he knows I can't do anything about it. Well, tell him, which would you prefer? Buying toys or buying cigarettes? I'd like to see his answer. You don't stop playing when you get old. You get old when you stop playing. Wise words, Morpheus. A quote was originally from George Bernard Shaw. Was it? It's a good quote. Where are we at? Season 3 gave us so many good moments, such as Rodimus sleeping with someone. That is true. That is canon. That is canon. That's why I love Rodimus. Beat a man. Beat a man. What's your opinion of the old generation's Blitzwing? Pretty good toy. Pretty good toy. I liked that they retooled it into that really cool Starscream. God, what was that line called? I have the Rodimus from it. Oh my god, it was such a weird line. Had a weird name too. Like Generation something in Japan. Someone will remember what I'm talking about. but it had a cool Starscream from it. And it's kind of funny because it was a Starscream Blitzwing before we had a Starscream Blitzwing. Cloud, thank you. So it was kind of like the chicken before the egg, before the meme. But I love that mold. That's a really cool mold. I dig it. I dig it a lot. And then they did, I think they did Double Dealer from that afterwards, if I remember correctly. It was a good mold. It was a good mold. They got a lot out of it. They got a lot out of it afterwards. I think they did Double Dealer from that too. Yeah, they also did Double Dealer. I have to look at all my Generations stuff over there to see everything. When you have too much, you forget what you have sometimes. Do you think we'll ever get an official MP Jazz? I think we will. I, honest to God, think we will. Jaws D, part of the podcast, probably the biggest Jazz fan in the world. He'll even say it. He thinks it'll happen. And it's not because of a bias. It's just from business. It'll happen one day. I feel like War for Cybertron is the best, especially the part where you control Bruticus. Much fun. I just think the online is... Like, we haven't gotten a Transformer game with online like that since... Since that, man. All right, where are we at? Sorry, guys, if I'm so behind on the questions. If you guys do Super Chat, I will get to your question first. It's just we're so behind here. Oh, my goodness. Where are we at? You have insight on who may take over for John Warden? I cannot say. But insiders do know. That conversation came up quite a bit. Do we have any idea on what's happening on Action Toys Machine Robo? I wish I knew about that. I was a big fan of that line, and I was buying practically everything of it, and they showed off a bunch of stuff, what was it, 2 Toy Cons ago, that we still haven't seen anything of. So, I don't know, I think it's either in limbo right now or dead. But it would be a shame because I love that line. I love Machine Robo, I love GoBot molds on my mint on card GoBot wall up there on the top. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Fingers crossed, man. I hope it's still alive. Do you think we're going to get a G2 repaint of Earthrise Optimus Prime? Well, hear me out. We have the leader class. We have the sleep mode version now, the gray one. We have the 3-pack coming. That's going to come with the 2 little Energon, Battlemaster weapons from Siege. Supposedly, unconfirmed, he might also be in the spoiler box. So that's 4 now. Do you really want a 5th one now? It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. And I know Plasticon, I know you like G2, but maybe in a world where BotCon still existed, that would be a case. Anyone with any Transformer figures in their hands? Not yet. I like this guy. Needs more paint, though. But I love it. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? I have a sealed Randy that is eventually aimed to bring to TFCon and open it at the bar. Don't you dare! You're just gonna... He's gonna break, man. He's gonna break. I did that video with so much care and focus in like a calm room, no sounds, nothing. You can see my hands are shaking a little bit. I was sweating. For you to bring it to the bar, it's your money, man. It's your money. I only did that video because at the time Big Bad Toy Store was a sponsor and they sent me one. So, it's your call. Don't forget that BotCon Flash Century. Or did you get one recently? I never got one. That is the only figure I've ever worked on that I still don't have the figure of. I have the bio. They gave me the bio. But I don't have the figure. One day. Someone hook up a brother. Someone hook up a brother. Give me my Flash Century. Why was Power of the Prime's Jazz so controversial? It's a long story. As a Canadian, I have no opinion. Poutine and hockey. But it was an American thing. Any idea on where HasLab Unicron is going to go in the display? Right there. No joke. That wall is waiting, baby. That wall is waiting. Empty wall. Empty wall. There, Techno covered it. You know, it's funny, at the time I didn't even know what that meant because I'm Canadian. I was like, what the hell is that? Okay. I honestly thought it was a reference to a G1 Season 3 episode. But that's a whole other story. I hate that Bumblebee is an official Volkswagen because he's the only one that has official alt mode while the others have fake alt modes. Nah, that's not true. That's not true. Those Datsun brothers, especially with Prowl now, those look very Datsun-like. Those look very Datsun-like. And again, shout out to the creator of the Datsun Z. He passed away recently at 87 years old. Dude's a legend. If you want to learn about his history, there's a manga based on his life and the creation of the Datsun Z, the most powerful and important Japanese sports car of the 70s. Love that car. 340 ZX, the Fair Lady Z. What was the last figure you actually transformed? That is a good question. I would have to say Cyberverse regular edition Shockwave, which is not that great, but he was on special and I bought him. And the only thing that's cool about him is he has this little Energon weapon here. Not that great a figure, but he was $6 Canadian, which is like $4 American. So, same thing, like I picked up Windblade for $6.94 Canadian, this is normally like, I think, what, 15, 16 bucks Canadian? So yeah, for like $4 for this, American, yo Joe. So yeah, this was the last guy I think I transformed recently. That's why he's nearby. I didn't put him in the Cyberverse display yet with his. I have over there I have also the deluxe ones, which are way better. And I just like Shockwave, that's why I bought him. Shockwave is probably my favorite Decepticon. Not my favorite overall Transformer villain. That goes to Beast Wars Megatron, but Shockwave is my favorite Decepticon. A lot of purples. Where are we at? Where we at? Do the cone heads come from France? From France? Or outer space? Oh, those cone heads. They come from France. I got that reference. They come from the sunken Nemesis, apparently. Oh, there, someone got the joke, the Dan Aykroyd joke. Have we heard when and how Earthrise Thrust will be released? I'm going to assume, I want to hope retail. It would really suck if all the cone heads were difficult to get in every shape or form. But I hope Thrust is retail. Have you ever thought about talking about your political beliefs? See, here's the thing. I'm Canadian, and we don't really have political beliefs. We just like to have a good time. Anyone that's been to TFCon in Toronto knows that we just like to have a good time. We just like to have fun. We don't look at people and judge, man. Like, look at the other co-host of the podcast, my little brother Jaws D. You know what I mean? We don't judge. Everyone's the same. I don't care. Transformers, it's all the colors of the rainbow, man. I don't know. I'm not a political person. Like, to me, it's just, it's all of that stuff doesn't matter to me. It's putting boundaries and names and titles on things that don't matter. We might have different opinions. Doesn't mean that I hate you. I'm not a political person. Where are we at here? Where are we at here? Hey, Protoman, a hypothetical. Hasbro wants to consult the next generation line. What do you do? Is it another trilogy? What's the theme and gimmick? How do you keep things fresh? Well, originally my answer would have been Beast Wars because it would have been the most logical in terms of the market. But since we do have a Beast Wars, I think, personally, I would continue the Beast Wars thing until it stops making money. I always say, look, and this goes with any kind of toy line. If it works, keep doing that. When it stops making money, go to something else. That's it. In my opinion, do you want to think probably why we went to Beast Wars? Because I think maybe the other generation stuff, well, I guess War for Cybertron stuff, maybe it wasn't making that much money. Maybe they're going in another direction. You might have liked it. You might have liked Earthrise. You might have liked Siege. But maybe the bigger numbers weren't that great. If you actually look at Hasbro's quarterly reports, stuff was down. Stuff was not doing too well. Now, granted, there's outside factors too. You know, obviously the Star Wars movies didn't do well, and those are licensed brands, and maybe the Marvel movies with their bloat product didn't do well, even though the movies did well. There's all kinds of X factors too. I mean, we talked about it with Aaron Archer. We talked about, you know, like how Episode 1 affected Kenner, and how that really had a lot to do with Kenner and Beast Wars and everything going to Hasbro. There's a whole bunch of stories there. But, I mean, but just to me, if it makes money, keep doing it. When it stops making money, evolve, change, pivot. That's how the brand works. And look what's going on around you, too. Never forget that also. What do you think about robot beards and mustaches? I love it because it makes it different. Gives characters different designs. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. I've always loved, I think my favorite Transformer facial hair, and it's totally underrated and no one ever talks about it, it's Rhinox's Soul Man beard. I've always felt Rhinox and Tigatron were like, well, Richard Newman, his voice actor, is not black, but I always felt Rhinox and Tigatron were like black guys, and like I know so many black guys that have that, like that Soul Man's, like, you know, your sideburns connect kind of thing, and then you got like Tigatron with his little like pencil mustache. Love those, love it. Of course, it's gonna be a Beast Wars answer, I guess, right? Every time I see M go, I always think it's, oh my god. Smoking a toy? Can't help but note people who smoke don't really have toys, taking up a ton of space. Who really is a winner? You know what's hilarious? I have this great image. I bought a toy collection from a guy who was a absolutely heavy smoker. Not Transformer toys, like Marvel 90s Marvel toys and Micro Machines. He was a heavy smoker, huge smoker, this guy. And it didn't hit me how bad it hurts toys. I'm going to post an image of it because I took a photo of it years ago. It's Iceman from the Marvel line. I own the original, like from my own personal collection, and then his from smoking all those years. Oh my god, if you don't think smoking damages toys, wait till you see this image. I'm going to post it on my Twitter. It is cray-cray. Don't smoke around your toys. It's not good. Where we at? Let's do another scroll up. We up to... Sorry, I just get lost. Every time it pushes down everything. There's so much. Here we go, Hasbro. Rodimus is probably the nicest one of the line. Never got him. Oh, you're talking about the Cloud series? Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that Rodimus. So here's a little bit of an insider thing. I don't know if Jesse will want me to tell you this. So the plan was that if Fun Publication was going to continue, we were going to take that Cloud Rodimus and do Shattered Glass with it, and I was going to write the bio for it. And then BotCon and Fun Pub were no more. But to make up for it, I did the Shattered Glass third-party bio instead. I think it was like, it wasn't the following year, I think it was the year after that. So a lot of the story that was supposed to be in that, I kind of put in that one. But we were going to get a Cloud Shattered Glass Rodimus at some point officially. Kills me that didn't happen, because that would have been my first ever official Rodimus bio I ever got to write, and that would have been so cool. Do you think Kingdom will open the door for generations to R.E.D? Of course, I 200% think that. Hasbro's looking at the other markets. Common Pikachu asks a super chat question. Thank you, Common Pikachu. And he asks, he gets to jump ahead of everybody here, do you prefer American or Japanese G1? 100% Japanese G1, but I'll rephrase something. not by a watching standpoint, but I like the overall Japanese G1 continuity. Because the American G1 continuity kind of goes season 1, season 2, you know, the movie, season 3, Rebirth, Golden Cybertron happens, and then we go to Beast Wars with, you know, a little bit of Bakan stuff in between. But I find that the Japanese continuity is just so much more lush. You know, Sakamoto always filling in the blanks too. Japanese G1, 200%. Master Force is one of my favorite Transformers series of all time. I love Victory. I thought there was a lot of cool designs in the Headmasters series that was kind of lacking from the Rebirth series, the way the designs were in the animation. Again, ACOM to Toei, you can't compare. 100%. And Zone is awesome too. One episode of glory for Transformer Zone. Where are we at? I wonder if Aaron Archer has free time. I wonder if Aaron is here. I don't know. Aaron, give me a shout out if you're in the chat. You've been in the chat a few times already, so. Why are Targets screw us over on Double Dealer and Amazon screw us over on Sweet Mode Optimus Prime? I don't know, man. I'm Canadian. We had Target for a hot minute, and then it ran away. Nemesis is rumored to be the spoiler, supposedly. That's the guess that I had too. What is your favorite figure of the year so far? Favorite figure of the year so far? Good question, Tanya. That's a tough one. That is a tough one, considering that February came around and then lockdown happened, and I don't mean the Transformer. I am going to go with... Well, this is... If I don't count him, Cyberverse Hot Rod, I won't count him because that's not fair. He's my boy. I am going to go probably with Modulators, any of the base teams, Grease Pit or Ironworks. Those are awesome. Micromaster guy, like those kind of stuff. I'll go with Ironworks, but Grease Pit, if I did get him, I didn't get him yet. Grease Pit would probably be my number one on there for now. For now, year isn't over yet. Still got masterpieces to ship out, so. Still got a lot of masterpieces to ship out. Get those. Scalpers. I hate scalpers. Don't even get me started with scalpers. I have so many friends that are scalpers. It is dirty. Dirty. Shout out to Julian, who scalps amiibos. Makes ridiculous money, and I have to just sit there. I'm running my Transformer booth at a huge 20,000 people anime convention, selling Transformers cheaply, and there he is scalping amiibos and making so much money that he's paying for lunch at the end of the weekend. Just laughing there like, you know, Mr. Monopoly with his monocle. While kids are paying like $80 for a Marth amiibo. Ugh. I hate scalping. Ugh. Never want to partake in it. Poutine, hockey, and maple syrup, brother. Poutine, hockey, and maple syrup. Ask anyone. I go to IHOP in the States because I love IHOP. There's IHOPs in Canada, but they're not as good as the ones in the States. I go to IHOP in the States. I have my maple syrup. Then I have my poutine back home here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. The best place to have poutine in the entire world. There's people that know that. And then, of course, hockey. Gotta love my hockey. I don't have anything hockey near me, do I? I must have something hockey near me. What is wrong with me? Gotta be something hockey near me. I don't have anything hockey near me. Oh my god. That's all upstairs in my living room. What is wrong with me? I not have anything hockey nearby. Oh, I am not a good Canadian. Damn. Yeah, Plasticon in the house, yo. I'm happy that he came. Protoman, my question. You have to gender swap one of the Legendary 7 in the next Transformer series. Who would it be? Starscream! Just to give the girls what they always wanted. If not Starscream, Soundwave, just because he would be a good motherly figure to his little children. All his children come out of his bosom. I think there's a market to say that clamshell planet surface to put over existence stand. Blah. I'm sorry, Techno. What? Think Hasbro will ever revisit War Planets? Unfortunately, War Planets is owned by Trendmaster Toys, so no. Trendmaster Toys still owns the rights to War Planets, and as a result, Shadow Raiders, which sucks. And Trendmaster, if you look at their history, they were a bootlegging company that then started doing Godzilla toys, and then did War Planets. And they only did War Planets because they were actually trying to take advantage of the Polly Pocket / Mighty Max market, mixed with, at the time, StarCraft, which was a really popular RTS game back in the day. So they were trying to like play off of that, and little like StarCraft playsets and stuff. So, I love War Planets. Amazing show. Shadow Raiders, totally underrated. You can watch the entire Shadow Raider series on YouTube for free right now in amazing quality. Go and watch it. I got Cyberverse Clobber recently. I didn't notice she was missing her gun cannon. Have you ever get a Transformer that was missing an accessory out of the box? The only time out of the thousands of stuff I've ever gotten, if you don't count Build to Rule Lego Transformers, if I don't even want to call them Lego Transformers, Build to Rule Transformers, tons of time there's pieces missing. That was a common problem with that line. The only time it's ever happened was I got a Dark of the Moon Roadbuster, had him mint in package, didn't open him for months and months and months, finally opened him, no head. And I still have a headless Roadbuster in my collection. The deluxe, like, you know, the one with the mech tech weapon. So I have a headless that, and BotCon 2015, 2014, the custom class figure, my Primal Prime, which is the repaint of Ape Links, two left hands. I didn't notice until I got back home and displayed them. Whatever. And so I displayed them like this, like, bruh, really? Like with two left hands, like, really? So yeah, that's the only time out of the thousands of figures around me. That's the only two that ever happened. My ladies man 217 display room is really impressive. Have you ever done a tour before? I have done it a few times. Maybe we'll do it at the end of the stream. I'll do a little tour for everybody to check out. We'll do a little walk around. I want to let the camera charge a little bit so everything won't get messed up. But there is, if you want, I did an interview with the Geek Me TV show, which is on Netflix Canada. I want to say it's on Netflix Canada. But what I did was I actually uploaded the segment, and I got the okay from Netflix Canada. They're like, yeah, sure, you could put it up as long as the show is okay with it. So you could actually watch it on my other YouTube channel. Just type, I think you type Proto Retro Transformer Collection, something like that. And you'll see a big interview, and people go around my collection and stuff, and I talk about me getting into Transformers and everything in the history. It's a good little segment. It was fun. Jason Rockman, no pun intended, that's literally his name, Jason Rockman, who was the host of it. Really cool dude. Really, really cool dude. It's funny, I always thought Ramjet was the leader, and Thrust and Dirge were more of the kind of goofy guys. Yeah, maybe I was wrong. I always saw Thrust. I don't know why. Windblade is bad. When she came out in 2008, she instantly is in clearance and got her for like $7. Maybe people weren't feeling Windblade at the time. But then again, it could be a regional thing too. Are you able to pick up in store at Target the up-and-coming MPM 10 Starscream MPM? We don't got Target here. Usually that stuff would show up in a EB Games or GameStop. I have seen them in stores, although I haven't seen either of those guys. I haven't seen Starscream or the Ratchet. That's still way too new. But I will pick them up in the future when they end up getting cheaper. I find movie masterpieces really kind of dip in value over time. I've been able to get almost all of the MPM movie masterpieces, with the exception of the first 2 Japanese ones, for less than retail almost every single time. Someone buys it and they go, eh. Event Propagator wrote, like most Canadians, we look at it like a TV series, and we get the front row seating. I'm especially hyped for Beast Wars. Wrote. Let's see, scroll. Gotta scroll. There's so much. Maybe you have some insight since you speak of Hasbro insiders. Why do you think sometimes only 90% of sometimes go only 90% on some figures, like Combiner Wars Constructicons with a different mixmaster? What's the question exactly? Do you mean, Shockwave? Elaborate, and I will gladly answer. Oh my God! Why did everything scroll down? Sakamoto continuity weaving skills. Sakamoto is amazing. I love you, Hayato. You are an awesome human being. We went out to dinner. We were at the Hall of Fame dinner together. He is the funniest Japanese dude you ever hang out with, and he doesn't seem like a funny guy, but it's what he says that matters. He doesn't speak a lot, but when he speaks, it matters. Why are black repaints a thing in Transformers? Well, it starts way back when you're talking about a guy named Skywarp, who is a repaint of Starscream. And then you go to something like Shadow Panther, which actually was the first ever evil black repaint. And then you're talking about Black Convoy, whether it be the New Year's edition, which was a black repaint of G1 Optimus Prime, or the Car Robots R.E.D. black repaint, aka Scourge. And you know what's connected with all of those? They all sold so amazingly well. Black repaints, cha-ching, there's your answer. They always sell well. And they look cool in general. Does Headmasters actually have an English dub? Officially, unofficially. There's the Star TV Singapore dub, which is... Enjoy. Where's Sparkle? And Rodimus Prime? We got to get the power pack. Get ready for that. I really want Sakamoto to do a TFCon Toronto. Oh my God! If I could convince Sakamoto, Hydra, Azusa, and Tomoya. Tomoya is probably in the chat, maybe, to come to TFCon Toronto. That would be amazeballs. Let's put it that way. I would love it to have them all there. And then you wouldn't see me the whole weekend because we would just hang out all the time. And I'd bring Josh with me, because Josh is awesome. We don't talk about that dub. And then the Master Force one is better. What is your name? My name is Optimus Prime. I'm American, like yourself. It's like, what? God damn. If you like the Japanese continuity more, does it mean that you like the Beast Wars continuity as well, with the planet, not Earth, and male Air Razor? My rule with any Transformer series is you watch it in the intended country of origin of which it was created. G1, seasons 1 to 3, and the 86 movie, it was an American creation. Korean animated in some areas, Japanese animated in other areas, but it originally broadcasted in America. That's how you watch it. Headmasters, Master Force, Victory Zone, Japanese creation, Japanese original broadcast. That's the language you watch it in. Watch it with subtitles. Oh, then we go to Beast Wars. Canadian creation, Canadian broadcast. You got to watch it in Canadian. No, I'm just joking. You watch it in English. And that's how you would do it. I'm not a big fan of male Air Razor. I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to sell toys in Japan, but obviously they changed that with the manga version. They made her female in the manga version. But the point is, you watch it in English. Beast Wars 2nd and Beast Wars Neo. Japanese creation, Japanese broadcast. You watch it in Japanese. And I go on and on. The only time The only time that I might change my rule on that, and I keep going, you know, Armada, Energon, and Cybertron, I watched the Japanese versions. Japanese broadcast, Japanese language. That's how it's supposed to be done. It was intended to be watched in Japanese. But this new Siege series, I don't know if anyone saw the Siege Netflix trailer in Japanese. I don't know, man. I think the Japanese has a different soundtrack, and the voice actors seem like they're doing a way better job. So, I don't know. It might be better in Japanese, even though it's intended to be watched in English. I could be wrong. We will see come July 30th, and if we could get that Japanese dub track on the Netflix version, ooh man, might be good. Might be good. Meeting Sakamoto would be a dream come true. He is an amazing human being. He is an amazing dude. People were so mean to him in BotCon 2014, but he is an amazing human being. Where are we at here? Hopefully we see Viz translate the Legend stuff. I would love it if Viz did that. Like, look, Volume 2 right here, bada bing. Waiting for Volume 3 to come in the mail when it ships. Love it, love it, love it, love it. We got a super chat question from the Xenomorph. From the Xenomorph. Thank you once again, Xenomorph. You are a bro. And Xenomorph wants to know, how long have you been collecting Transformers? And how old were you when you first started collecting? Well, here's the thing. When I would say collecting, like actively, because I always say, like, you know, when you're a kid, are you really collecting, or is mom and dad buying you toys? I would say I started, like, stopped becoming a kid who was getting toys and was someone who was going out of way to collect toys. I'd have to say around 8, 9 years old. You know, when kids started being a little more embarrassed of collecting toys, I would still go out of my way to get, like, the latest Bossmaster figures or Ninja Turtles or Power Rangers at the time. And, you know, when Beast Wars came out, like, just tracking down all the G1 all over again from garage sales and everything. How long have I been collecting? Well, how long have I been collecting Transformers? I'd like to say that what I just showed you guys before, right? I don't consider that the beginning of my collecting. That's when I first got Transformer toys. I'd have to say I started collecting Transformers again in 1996 with Beast Wars. I got Cheetor. I got a Red Eye non-Rocky Bubble Cheetor. I actually have a mint on card one, if you could see. There's a mint on card one there to commemorate the first Beast Wars toy. I have a mint on card Cheetor there, and above it is a mint on card G2 Inferno. I got a Red Eye mint on card Beast Wars Cheetor. My sister, that exact same day, who always did what I did, my sister, anyone who's been to TFCon might have met her a few times, she bought a Rhinox non-Rocky Bubble, and that signified the beginning of me collecting Transformers again, or collecting Transformers actively from that point on. So I'd have to say 1996. So you'd have to do the math there. So that would be, what is it, 24 years of collecting Transformers? Is Aaron Archer in the house? I'm seeing, hey, Aaron Archer's here. Oh, Aaron Archer's here. What up, G? What up, Aaron? But yeah, Xenomorph. So yeah, 24 years, technically. Even though I've been a fan of Transformers since '86, but actively I'd say 24. How old were you when I first started collecting? Like I said, 8, 9 years old for toys in general. But if it was Transformers, I was 14 when Beast Wars came out. Perfect time. And my high school was awesome. I had like the best high school in the world, man. All the jocks and the big bullies were into geek culture. Like, I loved it. It was such an awesome high school. You know, like everyone's in the locker room after we played basketball. Like, yo, son, yo, did you see Dragon Ball last week? Yo, Gohan, yo, he was chasing a dinosaur. Yo, did you see that? Yo, did you see Beast Wars yesterday? Yo, that Starscream character, he came back. Remember Starscream? Remember that G2 cartoon a couple years ago? Oh man, like I loved it. Like, just you had like, it was so cool that high school. I would, you know, like. It's silly, like, to like want to long for your child, like, you know, from the past, but like I loved high school because it was so cool. It was so cool, my high school. We used to watch anime at lunchtime, like a mix of the geeks with the jocks. Good times, good times. Good times. Let's go back. We're going to try to scroll up to some questions. If I missed any questions, guys, please ask. Hey, Mr. Canada, just to let you know, Alpha Flight Marvel Legends box set is on clearance. Every time I always read that comment, I spat a little bit because it always... Is it on? It's on Amazon.ca. If it is, I'm buying it. I'm buying it, and then I'll get my Vindicator. If you go on my Instagram, I did a nice Vindicator Alpha Flight homage. Yo, man, I have a Mego Captain Canuck figure in my room. Okay, that's how hardcore I am. I love being a Canadian. I almost spat up all over the screen. Semi-convinced Yoke-san to take a plane trip. Oh, I would love to get Yoke-san to come. Aaron, get Yoke-san to come to TFCon. Aaron, get Yoke-san to come. Proto, what would be your top 3 fast food places? Hold on. What would be your top 3 fast food places exclusive to the United States? Okay. Number 1, without question, and it's only because it's cheap eats, and I think it's only a North Midwest thing. And it was Goober who sold me on this. White Castle. I know some people think White Castle is nasty, but for me, it's like, wait a minute, you get like 4 burgers for like $2, and me who just loves to eat a lot, even though I'm kind of a skinny mini, but oh man, like that was some good stuff. And it's kind of like each of the boxes have like fortune cookie stuff on it. I don't know, I kind of dig it. So that's definitely number 1. There was this joint that the TFYLP guys went to called Culliver's, which deep fry everything you bring to them. Everything was deep fried. Deep fried cheese curds, deep fried this. And again, I'm not used to crazy unhealthy food, so that was awesome. I got the deep fried cheese curds, the deep fried pickles, which was more amazing than I ever thought it was going to be. That was really good. But yeah, like White Castle, man, like Goober was the one. Here's the story. How did I discover White Castle? Going to BotCon 2008. It was me, Goober, and Meesum. We're in the car. We're driving to BotCon 2008. All the old BotCons, we used to drive to them. And we used to sometimes sleep in the car. I didn't even want to get into that. I was working at Burger King at the time. Didn't have a lot of money, but I wasn't going to miss a convention. And we're driving... Like, cause you know, like how you have like the highway, like you go one way and another way. We're driving, we see a White Castle, and Goober loses his stuff. Like he just loses it. Oh my God, White Castle! You know, we gotta go. And Meesum's just driving like, maybe not. And Goober's like, no, you don't understand. And he's like spitting, like he's like, we gotta go now. We gotta go now. And so we're like, okay, fine. We went. It was amazing. I loved it. I don't know. Some people, they're like, White Castle's overrated. I liked it. Maybe because fast food is a different entity in Canada, but I really liked it. It was really good. Number 3, I don't have a number 3 really, because like I guess IHOP really, because IHOP really isn't a good... IHOPs in Canada aren't really that good. The IHOPs in the States are a whole different animal. And I love breakfast. Like if I had like my favorite meal in the world is breakfast. Like eggs, bacon, you know, hash browns, you know, like sausage, give me a stack of pancakes, you know. IHOP. I'm going to make everyone hungry now. You can make everyone hungry at 8 o'clock at night. But yeah, I'm going to go with White Castle number 1. Number one. Those Trendmaster Godzilla toys were fascinating to me. Yeah, and they had so many of them, Ninjatron. I remember like there was tons of them, and they had like that open packaging where you could actually touch the figure too. I wonder how many of those survived. You're the most knowledgeable guy I know on Transformers. Is there anyone you would say that knows more than... I would say close to almost, and I don't want to brag, but there's a guy named Monzo, Matt. Shout out to Matt. We're really good buddies. I like Matt. He's an awesome, cool dude. He probably knows just as much as I do, but the thing is Matt's been slipping. He hasn't been paying a lot of attention to the new stuff now, so I think I know way more than him now. Not to mention Matt never got to work on the creative side of it, so a lot of those things he's not knowledgeable of. So, you know, again, Monzo, like if you actually look at my Wikipedia entry, they talk about me and they mention Monzo because me and him are kind of like on the same level. But Matt never got to work with Transformers stuff. So because he never got to work with it, he doesn't have like that, that extra layer of how things are made and stuff, which is always good to know. It helps you answer a lot of questions. Aaron, or if you just get Aaron Archer over here to answer stuff for you, which we're going to do, Aaron. We're going to do soon. We have some people that were asking questions that could have been aimed at you. Have you ever drawn female Bumblebee? I guess that's aimed to Josh, I guess. That'd be interesting, eh? Female Bumblebee. But then again, wouldn't that? No, female Bumblebee would be Glyph, wouldn't it? Yeah, technically the blue Bumblebee repaint. They had that book recently, the Valentine's Day special by IDW. I love that book. It was very cute. Target exclusive has shown up in Toys R Us in Canada. Walgreens are exclusive to EB Games. Yep. We get all our exclusives through weird means. Sometimes the Hasbro Pulse stuff ends up at Toys R Us too. He mentioned Street Fighter earlier. Who? Oh, bro. I lived Street Fighter and the arcades back in the day. When Street Fighter 2, the World Warriors came out, I lived it. I was an arcade rat like crazy. I must have spent so much of my time back then. And still to this day, I will challenge anyone in fighting games today. Street Fighter 2, Championship Edition, Third Strike, Street Fighter 4, Samurai Showdown, King of Fighters, Fatal Fury, Mortal Kombat's probably my weakest series. Killer Instinct. Just bring it. Bring a machine to TFCon. Let's go. I lived it. To answer your question, who was my main in Street Fighter? Wait, who was your main in Street Fighter? In Street Fighter 2, I mained Ken, and then I started leaning more towards Sagat for competitive play. In Street Fighter 3, I used to main Sean. Didn't really do good in competitive play. Started leaning on Ken. Ended up discovering Chun-Li. Now I main Chun-Li almost permanently. Street Fighter 4, M. Bison 100%. Last version. Street Fighter 5, M. Bison 100%. Just something about Bison recently that's been really working for me. And then there's like millions of others, Who do you main in, Marvel vs. Capcom, Hulk and Mega Man? So many. When you start talking about fighting games, that was a large part of my life. Like the early 90s, like in between Transformers and Beast, like Transformers ending and G2 just kind of mucking up the middle, and Beast Wars, it was Ninja Turtles and Marvel and the fighting game world of video games. I was a big fighting game guy back in the day. I could do a whole podcast just on fighting games with Jaws D. Jaws D met me at an arcade back in 1995, and he's like, my first memory of that guy was he kicked my butt, and he's like, who is this guy? Not me, I kicked his butt. And I think it was X-Men Children of the Atom that I beat him in. Which Transformer figure do you have the most hype for? Ended up being a real disappointer. The first time that ever happened in my life was Beast Machine's Cheetor, the Mega Class. I was so hyped for that figure, and then when I got it in hand, it was a mess. What a ripoff. What a terrible toy. How did they manage to pack that into a Mega with so little plastic and it barely could stand up, and it's hard to transform because of that head and how it scratches the chrome? I'll never understand. That was the first time I was ever super disappointed. Black recolors are a thing in general. It started with Raiden. You are correct. And a lot of other super robots. Always bringing in the super robots, eh? Ninjatron. Daimos. That's my boy. Yomderu, Yomderu, Daimosu, Daimosu, Tosho, Daimosu, Mina. Oh, got another question. Sorry. Got carried away. I'm all hyped up today. I don't know why. I had to fix a friend's car today, and I was so tired. I had to use caulking too to patch up some rust, and it was I cut my finger there, and then I cut my finger there, and then there's my mechanic burn. Ooh, that's gonna hurt, that one. So, anyways. So I was all tired, and I was like, am I gonna do the stream? Oh man, I got a shower. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. So, Tomoya, I love that dude. Josh knows what I'm talking about. I love Tomoya. We're the same height, same hair. I was just talking to Tomoya today. he loves. You know what I love about Tomoya? You know, like how you have weeboos, you have like Americans that are obsessed with Japanese culture. Tomoya is like a reverse weeboo. He's a Japanese person obsessed with American culture. So he got the very first issue of Batman Adventures, like the Paul Dini, Bruce Timm Batman Adventures comic, and and I had to tell him like, oh Tomoya, that's the reissue. But he was so happy because he thought he had the first print one, so I showed him mine and stuff. Like, you can actually see if you go on my Twitter and you look at my replies, you can see it. I love him. He's so cool. He's so cool. It's so funny when he used to come to BotCon and all the stuff he would buy. He'd buy like He-Man and Micronauts and like all like these American like twists on brands. And he has a very interesting opinion on Transformers. He doesn't like Transformers as a like super robot series. He likes it as like deep sci-fi. He has a very interesting opinion on it. Rodimus Unicronus didn't sell that well. Also, Rodimus Unicronus was end of line, and end of line stuff always has low numbers. I've talked about it, I think, previously in a segment about end of line stuff is good investments. Didn't TFCon Toronto this year get canceled? Some of the dubs are just funny to watch. TFCon this year did get canceled, unfortunately. Primary reason, the province of Ontario has a 250 feet by 200 space limit. So like 250 feet by 200, you're only allowed 50 people. TFCon's dealer room, I think, is like 275 feet by 180, maybe? So let's say, just for fun, you could put 50 people in there. That's just the dealers, not even. So it couldn't happen. Look, we got next year, guys. We'll all see each other. We'll all kiss each other. And we'll see each other next year. And we'll see Aaron. We'll see Josh. We'll see everybody. We'll see Ultra Primal. We'll see General Techno. We'll see... is Larry in the chat? I didn't even get to wish Larry happy birthday. Aaron, you have to give Larry a happy birthday, by the way. It's his birthday today. Where are we at here? We wouldn't see Josh the rest of the weekend, sadly. Yeah. Where are we at? Sorry, everything gets... I hate how YouTube does, like, the chat pushes everything up every time, so I lose everything. How long do you think it'll be before Armada gets the same treatment as Beast Wars? Give it 5 years, maybe even less, in my opinion. If you were 5 years old when Armada came out, you are 23 years old right now. Chew on that for a second. So you are a buying force. Ages 25 to 35 is the ultimate buying market because they have their first real job after leaving college, but they still live with their parents. So much supplemental income that could go towards stupid expenditures. The perfect market. Right now, that's Beast Wars people. So what you're trying to say is don't watch Beast Wars, watch Beasties instead. Fun fact about Beasties was completely uncensored. Just the title was censored. But when they played Beast Wars on the Power Block on channel ABC 22, they censored it. Robo Noogie was censored. Kicking the balls to Waspinator, censored. They would censor a lot of stuff. The Fox reruns of Beast Wars were uncensored. That's the difference. So for the longest time, the Beasties Canadian run was the uncensored version. Watch the Japanese dub with English subs. Can't wait. Exactly. For Siege. I'm actually tempted to see it that way. I am very tempted to see that way. Where are we at? Everything just got shifted down again. People ask more questions. So many questions. So many questions. Micron Legend was great. So excited to get Siege. What is your least favorite Michael Bay design? That's a good one. I want to say, and I know they're like punching bags at this point. I was never a big fan of the twins. I like the Ice Cream Twins design. That's unique, but wasn't really a fan of the Flava Flav kind of, I don't know. Just wasn't a fan of it. You know why? I know people like that in real life, so maybe that's why I wasn't a fan of it. that kind of hits home. But that's probably the easy answer. I actually, I'm like a lot of them don't offend me too much. I don't, I don't hate on a lot of the designs. Devastator could have been better, I guess. Under enemy scrotum. I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't really hate too much about it. Just the overall storytelling is what I don't like about it. Why was there a big quality difference between Combiner Wars Megatron and CW Ultra Magnus? You'd have to talk to the engineers on that one. I think the primary reason is just because of how the transformation was, maybe having the little Minimus Ambus gimmick. Who knows? That's something you'd have to probably talk to one of the designers. Hey, Protoman, do you want me to ask a question now or later? You can ask now if you want, bro. And if it's super chat, it'll happen right away. Wink, wink. Where are we at? Why did we get thrust figure? What? No, excuse me. Want to get the thrust figure? Sorry. Cocaine is a hell of a drug, I guess. I got the G1. Kind of elementary school girls of Dragon. Was even talked about Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon came out in grade 7 for me. Amazingly, the girls in high school were talking about Sailor Moon like crazy. That's how cool my high school is. Oh, it's down. Okay, good price. Oh man, I'm actually going to get that Alpha Flight set. Savings and Canadian. Last time I was at White Castle was after BotCon 99. Oh, there was a White Castle at BotCon 99? I didn't know that. Oh, see, now we're going, okay, so this shows how behind I am on everything. Now I'm seeing all the White Castle comments. I hope people like White Castle. Onions are great. Onions are nasty. See, some people love White Castle, some people hate it. I don't know why. Alpha Quintesson was such a weird figure. Yeah, it was a weird figure, but I like it. It's really cool. I love all of them. Oh, we got a super chat. I got to put it down. Super chat. And the super chat is from Common Pikachu. Super chat from Common Pikachu. He wants to know, do you know why Magnus was made his own character as opposed to being an upgrade of Optimus Prime? Well, so here's the funny thing. So in the Diaclone universe, in that micro continuity, the powered convoy, which was I guess we'll call it Delta Magnus now, but the Ultra Magnus was an army of guys, and in fiction, all they was they took Battle Convoy, which was Optimus, and he got upgraded with armor. And he got Powered Buggy, which is he even got his own roller, which we didn't get with the Ultra Magnus toy. He actually was supposed to come with his own roller that was supposed to be a power-up called Powered Buggy. And there was an undocumented feature. If you took Ultra Magnus's helmet off the G1 toy, it clips into his chest piece to make a flying jet mode where you put 2 little Diaclone drivers and everything. There was this whole gimmick with that. So why did they go with that? New characters. I think that it was probably part of the narrative of, hey, we want to kill the old product, move in the new product. And I mean, we saw from that first trailer, that teaser trailer where you have the Diaclone colored Ultra Magnus, that was clearly always intended to be a new character. And I mean, when you look at the really early stuff, where Ultra Magnus was actually supposed to be, you look at Fluoro Deary, he had early designs. Ultra Magnus was actually supposed to use the design of Orion Pax, and that design ended up getting used later for Orion Pax, when it was supposed to be Ultra Magnus, which is a funny thing. You can actually look that up on Fluoro Deary's blog. He shows the original sketches and stuff. But yeah, that was the main thing. They wanted to just have new characters, fresh start, new people. Yet somehow Bumblebee survived and then became Goldbug. So where we at? I had to scroll all the way down for the super chat. Sorry about that, guys. See, more hate. See, White Castle. Everyone's kind of like, eh. I hope Netflix Bumblebee gets repainted in the glyph. I hope so too. I hope she gets a new head sculpt though, so it's more feminine. That'd be really cool. I rule a jury in Street Fighter 4. Then let's go. Let's go. Come to TFCon. Street Fighter 4. Bring your PlayStation. Let's go. I'll bring my fight stick. I got a nice, sexy fight stick. Shout out to Mad Cat. Heard the next generation Titan will be the Arc. That'd be cool. I'm down for that if it's the Ark. Hey, the Ark was part of Beast Wars' story. Spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen it at this point. Oh, David Cabal's here. Yo, David, what's up, man? I didn't even see you come in. Someone said that Crankcase 1985, the driver of the... okay, you guys are talking about G.I. Joe. Sorry. Tomoya is totally a Westaboo. That's what it's called. Westaboo. Power Rangers greater than Sentai. U.S. Transformers better than Japanese Transformers. That dude is the best. Yeah, he has such weird opinions. It's like, and you go like, Tomoya, no. Don't tell me you like Shogun Warriors over Super Robots. Yeah. Yeah, and he draws. I have, hold on. Let's get his Doshinji. The Return of Unicron. I love this book. Did he I hope he credited himself in this. Please tell me he credited himself. Tomoya, please tell me you put your credit in this. Oh my god, Tomoya, are you serious? Okay, maybe that's his credit. I don't know, I have to translate that for information. He did not put his name on this? Are you serious? Oh, he did. Okay, thank God. So, get a load of this. This is his Japanese fanzine in English. He actually translated and printed it out and handed it out for free to people. It is a good read. It is a good read. It's like a what-if story. Love it. I think I have an extra copy of it actually somewhere because I know he gave me one years ago to hook people up with, and I never really. I wanted to give it to Wendell, and then Wendell was like, "It's okay, man," because Wendell doesn't read that much. Doesn't have time for comics anymore. Larry's not here. Damn, he's still not here. Where's Larry at? Yo, where's Larry at? Too bad I hug people. Okay, where are we at? Have you seen Symbiote Studios plushies? Yes, I have. I work closely with Symbiote Studios. We have the Soundwave plushie coming, and then the next reveal is probably going to be Megatron. That's probably the next reveal. So stay tuned for that with the pin. Comes with a pin, 12 inches tall, the plush, accompanying pin, and there will be t-shirts that you have to buy those separately. But they also have t-shirts of all the designs and characters. These t-shirts rule. Where are we at? Gross fish lips. When the R.E.D. line gets flushed out enough, Mr. Archer, do you think we'll see from... Yeah, there you go. You can ask Aaron the question right here. If you want, if he'll answer. If he'll answer. Where are we at here? Because Aaron, what he was asking is... I'll ask him in case you didn't see it, Aaron. They want to know the War for Cybertron designs that were used for the video games by High Moon Studios. Does Hasbro own the rights to those designs, and as a result, because of the toys made? Or if, let's say, Hasbro wants to do toys of those designs later on, is that a High Moon thing? I'm going to assume it's Hasbro, but I didn't want to speak out a term for that. So that's why I even said to the listener here that was asking, I said, we'll wait for when Aaron gets here, because he'd be able to answer it. A year ago today, San Diego Comic-Con got our look at Rung, Singe, Rumble, Ratback, Fanvote 3-pack, Ratchet, Reflector 3-pack, Blue Streak, Skywarp, G2 Sideswipe, and Sound Blaster. That was all that early Siege stuff. We just got our first look at Symbiote Studios Soundwave plush. Yep. It's out there. It's out there. All of that stuff will be available soon on their website. But go check them out. You can see some of the other stuff they do. They have a lot of licensed stuff. They're going to be having the Power Rangers license, the Magic the Gathering license, which I'm going to make sure that's going to be amazing. I am going to try so hard to make sure that's going to be amazing. And the choices that are done with that. So it's going to be Magic the Gathering, Power Rangers, Dungeons & Dragons, Transformers. I think My Little Pony falls under that, but that's not my expertise, so I'll leave that to someone else to take care of. But yeah, check out their stuff, Symbiote Studios. Pop it in your Google machine and find it. I can't say which plushes there's going to be. I can't right now. All I could say is how their assortments work is that they do in waves of 3 characters at times. So wave 1, 3 characters, wave 2, 3 characters. That's all I'm going to say. But I don't want to... Until we flesh it out more. You mentioned GoBots earlier. I used to hate them, but secretly want a couple. I bought them, some open, and opened some of the floodgates. Which ones did you buy? Because GoBots are delicious. Wait, just keep going. I have a huge, huge GoBots display over there in that corner. Who do you think the Cyberverse Seeker pack will be? I don't know. That's a good question. It's, you know, what's funny, I wish I was able to predict Cyberverse stuff, but they're all over the place when they come with their price points and gimmicks. If you would have told me we were going to get a Cybertronian Ratchet this late in the game as a one-step changer, I'd be like, okay. I wouldn't have predicted it, but okay. Here's a piping hot take. Bandai greater than Hasbro Takara. It depends on the product. Bandai does make a lot of really good stuff. They make a lot of really good stuff, but Bandai is also now primarily a Japanese market, and Japanese product in general when it comes to toys are just more aimed at us. So, you know, do you think you would get a Commander class tidal wave? Do you think we can get a Commander class tidal wave? I think so, one day, if not a leader class. Who's your favorite Datsun colored scheme, including Barricade? I always lean more towards Blue Streak. Blue Streak is the nicest of all the Datsuns. And the Masterpiece is an example of that. Blue Streak, 100%. What is your favorite of all-time Transformer toy, like one you've played with the most? Well, I can answer that question. It's not my all-time favorite, but the Transformer toy I probably have transformed the most and played with the most would be either original Cheetor, Beast Wars 1996 Cheetor Red Eye Edition, or Transmetal 1 Cheetor. Definitely one of those two. Can't really tell you which one probably got more action. But my favorite of all time, not counting third party, because third party really, man, that Ox Rodimus is just the best ever. I don't know, that's a tough one. That I don't know, it's maybe I don't know, Masterpiece Dinobot is such a feat of engineering in itself. I don't know, there's a lot, it's hard to tell because like Masterpiece Dinobot is so amazing, but it doesn't have that easy configuration thing where, you know, I really like, let's say, Henkei Rodimus, which is like Classics Rodimus, but like the Japanese repaint with the gold spoiler. Like, I really like that one. So, I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one, bruh. I don't know. You can't pick one. Too many children. Too many children here to love. Where are we at? Do you think we could see a Deluxe or Voyager Silverbolt in Kingdom? If you're talking Silverbolt, we're talking the Beast character, right? And if a Silverbolt would be in Kingdom, I would see him as a Deluxe. I would see in the second run of it. Like right now, they're doing Season 1 characters. Same thing, Rampage. That's something I think we'll have that discussion later. I don't think we're going to see it anytime soon. I started auctions. Waterwalk. Waterwalk's a really cool one too. Really interesting design for and puzzlers. Here's a secret with the puzzlers. If you want to get a complete set of puzzlers, buy them individually. For some reason, when you have a complete set of puzzlers, and here's the cool thing with puzzlers, there's no accessories to collect. They're all attached to the bodies. So when you buy a complete puzzler, right? $100, $150. When you buy individual puzzler guys, what is it, 6 of them, 5 of them? They're like $5 each because people just associate them as individual GoBots, maybe $5, $10. So if you buy them individually, you're gonna pay at most $60. So if you want to complete your puzzler, go about it that way. That's what I always tell people because people, they don't make that connection. They go, oh, like you could just, because look, the fist is already in the mold, the head is already in the mold. Little tip there. Is Hasbro allowed to make Generations GoBots with slight altered designs from the band? It's dicey with that. They don't want to go too close to the Bandai designs because they can get sued. They can. So they go with the names, just not the designs. Hey, it's an orange forklift, but it's not exactly spoons. You know, hey, it's a motorcycle, but it's not exactly, you know, MR48. You know, it's one of those things. You know, like I would love it if they took like one of the cone heads, right, and gave it Fightor colors, like jet blue from Machine Robo. I would love that, but it won't happen anytime soon. I would have loved that. That would be like a BotCon thing I would love to do. Do you have the Street Fighter Titan Returns crossovers, and who are your favorites? Bada boom! I love that Chun-Li. The Hot Rod Ken, I don't know, it's okay, I guess. But that Chun-Li, are you serious? Look at that. Look at that. How is that not like the best use of that mold of all time? I don't even want to take it out of the box because she's doing a spinning bird kick. He's doing a shoryuken. I got to buy a second copy of this. And this is shout out to TF Source for hooking me up with this one. Love that line. Love that line. Love that line. Wasn't there a Cheetor listing for the Netflix Wave 2? The belief is that actually the Cheetor listing that we saw was actually us misinterpreting it for the R.E.D. Cheetor. That's what people think it is, actually. I like the Fracture figure they did from the Classics Mirage. I love that Fracture figure. Shame they couldn't get the name. Shame they could not get the name. I really wish they could make a spoiler box the fans voted for. Yeah, but then it wouldn't be a spoiler because then we know what we voted for. Crap, I shouldn't have tuned in. Now I'm considered buying that set again. It's so good. I can't stress it enough. Like, I remember I was with James Roberts. That was TFCon Chicago? No, TFCon Washington, maybe. No, what TFCon was that? I don't remember. But I was with James Roberts one of those years. And I remember I bought it. Ah, there's Larry. Happy birthday, Larry. Everyone wish Larry happy birthday. Larry's here. Late to the game, Larry. You have Cable. One of the worst Transformer movies is on the last night. You know what? I tried to watch it again not too long ago. I couldn't. What happened to TFCon and Fun? What happened? Oh, jeez, everything's like shifting up here. What happened to TFCon and Fun Publication? Like, why did they go belly up? TFCon didn't go belly up. It just didn't happen this year because of the big V. Fun Publication, they don't have the rights anymore. That's a complicated story that I'll save for another time. Let's just say it involved Hasbro, HasCon, and getting a little cocky. That's all, and Star Wars. That's all I'm going to say for now. That's a whole story for a whole other time. One day I'll do a segment about it. Because that's something I could really do, like go for like 12, 15 minutes talking about that story. What's the word on Action Toys Tough Trailer? I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I really want all that stuff. I want all... Okay, that's why all the chat shifted, because everyone's wishing Larry happy birthday. I was like, have you watched Gundam versus... Yeah, I actually talked about the Optimus versus Gundam death battle on the podcast. I think it's incorrect. As much as I love Transformers, I think Gundam would have, like, totally destroyed Optimus Prime. Optimus is good, but a new type Amuro Ray Gundam would destroy Optimus Prime. New types practically could see the future. So when they're fighting, like, I guess prowess is enhanced. So he would see every move Optimus is doing at him. And Amuro aims to kill. Optimus is swinging an Energon axe. If he had that as much, Amuro would have destroyed him, personally. And it was very controversial because a lot of people were like, How could you say that about your beloved Transformers? Look, it's I'm being realistic here. RX-78 Gundam, the first Gundam. I'm not even talking about the new stuff, the full burden, the 0083, you know, the F91. I'm not even going into Gundam Wing and other continuities. Just UC Century would totally destroy Optimus Prime. Maybe not Movie Prime, because Movie Prime is crazy. Like Dark of the Moon Movie Prime against the RX-78 Gundam, yeah, okay, that's a little more balanced. But G1 Prime, no, he wouldn't stand a chance. G1 Prime is too nice. Too nice. Look, he got himself killed. Hot Rod didn't do it. He got himself killed. Do you think we'll get reveals of R.E.D. line because SDCC was supposed to happen? I think we're still going to get more reveals. Look, we know about RC, we know about Cheetor, and we know about Bumblebee. We just haven't had them officially revealed. So there's still more reveals to happen. So we'll find out probably more about that really soon. Really soon. Oh, these happy birthday Larrys is totally drowning out the whole chat. I can't find where I was supposed to be. I think we'll get a reveal. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I'm just trying to... a wild archer monster appears. Yes, he does. Aren't Gundams like the size of combiners? That's another thing, too! They're huge. They're huge. That, like, the scale was wrong also. You know? Anyways, Death Battle, I like what Death Battle does, but sometimes they read too much into things, and they see stuff and they go, well, Optimus held up this tanker, and this tanker weighs X amount of weight, so that means he has that much power. It's like, eh. And then the next episode, he could barely, you know, like pick up like a Volkswagen Beetle. So it's like, I don't know. So a new type versus Optimus equivalent would be from Heavy Metal War. Yeah, well, again, it's new types are like broken. How could you compare that? Give me your face, Bayverse. If you had to switch allegiance of one Autobot and Decepticon, who would you pick? That's a good one. Let's go with... Well, let's go from Autobot to Decepticon first, and then Decepticon to Autobot. So, Autobot to Decepticon, let's go with Cliff Jumper, because he's always been a bit of a dick. And I love Cliff Jumper, but I could see Cliff Jumper as a con. He'd be like that evil dude with a big cannon. I could see him being like a Starscream character, but like effective even though he's short. Like I could just imagine like him showing Starscream how it's supposed to be done. I imagine like when Rat Trap joined the Predacons and like he did what even Pterosaur couldn't do. You know, like I can imagine like Cliff Jumper. And Decepticon to Autobot, well, it's already been done, but like Starscream and Armada became a Decepticon to Autobot. So I would say Starscream because it'd be cool to see that dynamic. But let's go with I don't know. Let's go with Shockwave because I love Shockwave. I'd love to see him work for the Autobots and do some good with his science instead of bad. You think we could also see Studio Series 86 stuff? Yeah, we need to learn more about that. We keep talking about it on the podcast, and I feel like I'm talking about something that doesn't exist at this point. But we need to be justified by having something shown. We could see Thundercracker become an Autobot. Well, that kind of happened a little bit in the IDW stuff. So I don't want to really mention him because that kind of did happen. He had a doggy. Decepticons don't have doggies unless it's, you know, something else. Unless they are a doggy. If you're able to make your own Transformer, would it be named and what would the personality be? It'd be some kind of racing Transformer. I have my own OC. I'm not proud of it, but I have my own OC. I have 2 OCs, original characters. He'd be a Formula 1 car. He'd be red. He'd be a race car driver. He'd be faster than everybody. He'd race Blur. He'd tell Blur, I'm going to show you how it's done. Let's go to Velocitron. We'll end this right now. For the pink slips, I'm going to take your Energon cubes. Right now, we'll take that corner, drift, bang. But yeah, that's my OC. I'd love a story of someone like Cosmos really getting fed up and not getting taken seriously. I love Cosmos. Cosmos is a cool character. And his voice actor, What's his name there? It's hilarious. Oh my god. Michael McConaughey. Awesome dude. Awesome dude. Super hilarious. Super hilarious. Everything on the Fan First Friday exclusives of some kind. Yeah, that was the unfortunate thing. It was either Walmart exclusives, Amazon exclusives, or Hasbro Pulse exclusives, which was the Quintesson set, which is awesome. That's my most favorite thing of everything that was revealed. Like, what's still nuts is considering Quick Strike is generally a maximal. Oh, yeah. Totally. They didn't get reprogrammed. He just was birthed, and then he was a dick. Pretty much. Because if you scan a snake and a scorpion, it somehow makes you a bad person. Because of his data. Kind of like what happened with Inferno in a lot of ways. Magmatron was a surprising inclusion into the Beast Machines toy line. Yes, he was. Wish we got more Neo stuff. We did kind of actually with the Universe 2.0 line over here. But your OC sounds like Skids from Robots in Disguise 2001. Yeah, but not as crazy. I'm not going to like chase down children that are doing like a foot race or something. No, I'd be actually in alt mode, like wanting to race and being obsessed with it and to be the best. Because back on Cybertron, I was the best racer. One of my favorite IDW comics is Spotlight Blur by Casey Collar. It's easily one of my favorite stories. And it sums up like what I would have loved about Cybertronian culture that I would love to know more about. And that's the racing scene. And how Blur was like this famous racing celebrity. I love Spotlight Blur. Oh, I love that book. And right on my desktop, no joke, like on my desktop, is that Blur. Like, no joke. Like my little desktop of like miscellanea. I don't know if you guys could see it over there. It's hard to see. You got like Bret Hart, Slash, you know, Roddy, the whole crew there. You know, that's my little desktop of dudes. And Blur is part of that. Because I love Spotlight Blur. Easily one of my favorite pieces of comic. We have Aaron in here. How did it come about anyways, bringing Beast Wars 2nd and Neo molds over? I don't know, what was Aaron, you didn't have, how much, that wasn't a lot of you, eh? Like Beast Machines wasn't a lot of your jam, eh? Like you really came in, like you came in for Beast Wars and then you really came in for R.E.D and Armada more, correct? Like that was more Drexel Studios and Hasbro, no? Remember we talked about that a little bit. But yeah, again, you school us, brother. Would you be from Velicitron? Would make sense, considering one of my second favorite Transformer characters of all time is the legendary Nitro Convoy. This is his PVC figure. I love Nitro Convoy. So yeah, probably. Actually, I prefer its Japanese term, Speedia. Speedia Planet. Do you think Hasbro will shine light on DevCon? I think so, if they have the trademark. If there's a trademark, it's going to happen. If there's no trademark, it's not going to happen. If it was BotCon, it would have happened. I like when Transformer World is built into culture. Would you think racing would be a big deal on Cybertron? Of course it would. When you turn into vehicles, of course it would. If driving around is literally a part of your life, then car culture and racing culture would obviously be part of that. Can't wait for the next live stream with Aaron. We got some good questions here. Yeah, we will do that, definitely. All right, we'll do a couple more questions, super chat and stuff like that, and then we will call it quits, guys. We've been going for 2 hours and then some, I think, already. So we'll answer a few more, and then we'll call it quits, actually. And then maybe we'll try to drag in Aaron for a future a live stream. Well, it's a good turnout today. We topped out at I think 81 people at one point. Good stuff. Good stuff. And the overall numbers, who knows what's going to be the overall numbers? Last time it was like 500 and something. We had a lot of in and out people, but Cybertron Red Alert looks like RoboCop. Energon Armada Repaint Red Alert really looks like RoboCop. Google that one. Energon Red Alert. It was in a 2-pack. That really looks like RoboCop. Yeah, I guess we're done with the questions. All right. So, I don't know what else I could say except thanks again all for coming today. Oh, okay, we'll answer 2 more questions. Aaron or Daniel, has there ever been a TF story explaining how Transformer characters got Earth-themed names while not being... not really. It's never really been covered. It just happens a guy named Jazz was on Cybertron. That's kind of the weird thing. It's just how it is. Beast Wars did a lot better job of explaining that. And animated, obviously, with how characters got named, but not G1. Any repaints or retools you liked better than the intended characters? A lot of them. A lot of them. A lot of them. Armada Red Alert is Robot Cop. The bootleg. When did the first RoboCop movie come out, though? 86, I believe, right? 1986? 87? 86. Came later. All right, so that'll be that. I'll talk to Aaron. We'll try to work out a stream in the near future. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see how tired we are. If the energy is there. Jaws D couldn't even be with us today because he wanted to take a nap. It was a tiring day. 87. All right, there we go. It was 86 or 87, I remember. But yeah, so thanks everyone for coming. Again, if you are interested in everything that we do here, check out the Patreon, give a donation, click the join button if you want to join the membership system. If you want to join Patreon, it'll be in the description in the future of the videos. Otherwise, just go to one of the other segments. It has the Patreon link in the description. But yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for being supportive of everything that we do here. And then some, and yada, yada, yada about Transformers like crazy. Before we go, I promised we'll do a little bit of a room tour. So how do I flip the camera again? I always forget how to... Oh, there we go. So we'll just do a quick room tour. I'll just take a step back. And... so that's one wall. That's my other chair. Just chill. That's when someone chills with me. And we got the stack of BotCon exclusives all the way to the bottom. And all my books. All my Transformer books. All kinds of reference books, guidebooks, art books. Hey, what's that? Is that Joshua Perez's book? Oh, that's Alex's book. Where's Josh's book? Josh's book is here somewhere. Joshua, where's your book? Well, that's the Lewd Alex book. Oh, let's not talk about that one. Josh's book is there too, somewhere. I think it's on the other side. It's hard to see. All my art books and stuff. And my little display there. This is where Unicron's going. Right here, boys. And then we got my... Oh. Why is it getting all fuzzy? What happened there? Okay, there we go. There we go. And then we got... This is Gyro Zetter, which was a robot series like Transformers. It actually destroyed Transformers in the ratings. Hey, Aaron, who did that? Who did that, Aaron? Aaron Archer? Who's Aaron Archer? Who did that? Who did that? Is that Aaron? So there's Gyro Zetter. That's the lewd variant and the non-lewd variant. I get a terms and services are going to hit me here. Then you got more Gyro Zetter. And then you got Armada. Armada merch, build to rule, PVCs. Kiss Play. Oh, we're going to get more terms and services. You got some alternators of every walk of life. Vinyl tech. Oh, yeah. Again, Armada. And we have Energon. All different, like there's all the different Scorponok variants. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. And then you got the Universe line. And then you got Cybertron. And there's Nitro Convoy. Love my Nitro Convoy. You got Robot Masters. And then the 10th anniversary Beast Wars back there. You got Titaniums. And then animated. Oh, I probably should open it. It's reflecting the glass here. You got animated of all kinds. Oh, there's the Angry Archer. There's Aaron. What up, G? You got some prototypes even there. You got like a McDonald's ones and some other stuff. So a few little prototypes here and there that I have in the display. Not many, but a few. That's the lunchtime special McDonald's one. I like to call it Toxitron because it looks like Toxitron. All the other ones there. Thanks for coming, Joshy. Transformers Prime. Just, there's so much Transformer Prime. So much Transformer Prime stuff. Oh, and then we got all the G1s. G1 display. I love the PVCs. PVC line, where it's at, yo. People don't appreciate that PVC line. Yeah, well now you know. Aaron is famous. Oh, there's some original Dino cassettes, not reissues. Daniel had to pay way too much money for those. Oh, there's Minerva. Daniel had to pay way too much money for her. And Metal Hawk. And God Jinrai. Or Ginrai. Or whatever you want to call him. Anyway. I don't mind. I want people to get reissues so they can enjoy stuff. You know what I mean? So you can enjoy everything. All the different guys. You know, Galaxy Shuttle, who's like stupid money today. And Star Saber. And where's Big Daddy? Where's Big Daddy at? Oh, actually, Big Daddy's downstairs. You know, look, let's count. How many Micromaster Hot Rods do we have? One. We got two there. And then there's like the Star Convoy with another Micromaster Hot Rod. And where's Big Daddy? Oh, there's Big Daddy. Yo, what up? Yo, how you doing, Desaurus? What up, G? Oh, there's Lyozak and Grandis. And Sky Gary. And then some UK boys. Shout out to Thu. He grew up with Laser over there. That was one of his first guys. Note that I put all Brain Masters like that. I don't push up the head because it will damage them in the long run. And then, of course, you know, you got... Oh, this is a Transformers Zone playmat. So you can put all your little Micromasters on it. I dig that. And there's a Rector. Protoman! Why you saying my name, bro? Why you saying my name, bro? Good old Erector. Built. I'm just going to jump ahead here to the best line of them all. To the best line. I'm just going to jump ahead. Oh, Josh, weren't you talking about these today? Some McBeasts. McDonald's. There's all the beasts. All the variants of Cheetor. And there's Ravage X9 and other Ravage and other Black Repaint. And then, wait a minute. Where's Black Cheetor? Oh, there he is. Excuse me. And then it just keeps going. G2. And then Miscellanea. Oh, look at that. Is that the legendary Rodimus Prime shampoo bottle? Let me get a stool. Hold on. Ugh! Is that the legendary Rodimus Prime shampoo bottle? Still with the shampoo in it from 1986. I mean, oh, it's still, oh my God. What are we going to do? Are we going to wash our hair with that? Are you crazy? 1986 Rodimus Prime shampoo. There we go. I just knocked over something. Crap. One sec, guys. Technical difficulty. That's what happens when you mess with stuff. I'll fix it later. And then you got the Super Hybrid Rodimus, one of the rarest things in my collection. Or the Bacon Super Hybrid Galaxy. Or how about some Diclon stuff? Shockwave. Ooh, hello. Micro. I don't know. It just keeps going, man. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. Oh, Beast Wars 2nd. What up, Taco Tank? It just keeps going. Aichan. But yeah, anyways. We'll show more in the future. I am bushed, my friends. We'll do another room tour with more stuff later. It is a lot. Once again, check out the Patreon. Join the Patreon. Donations, all that stuff to keep this craziness going. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Buy toys, don't buy drugs, actually. But yeah, thanks for coming, and I'll see you all laters.